Hi, everyone. I would appreciate it. Yeah, I I remember hearing a lot of this back when it first started coming out, and it just kind of dawned on me that does architecture stuff, and I shared her the cube that's going to be covered later on, and we started talking about this.
Oh shit, I realized I was muted. I was muted. Ah,
No,
no! Fuck. Damn it. I
it's all
thought,
gotta happen.
okay, from the top. Good day, everybody. I'm here with Killjoy. And you don't need to explain your things. I'll figure it out. But his throne is pinned up above as a thank you. If you like the stream, he helped a lot with it. Okay. Fucking.
You're fine.
It's like the thing is, I unmuted it, hopped to another fucking scene, and it just remuted me. God damn it!
That happens. So what was missed? What needs to be re-explained?
No. It's okay. You were unmuted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was the one.
Oh no, so they just heard me talking on a one-sided conversation. That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so we do have like a couple. Let me turn. Turn the music down just a little bit.
Oh, I want to apologize now. I got a little bit of a dry cough from allergies. I'm gonna be drinking tea, so I should be getting better throughout. I apologize if I have a coughing fit.
I'm trying to okay, there we go. Also has the music very low in the back.
It happens.
So today we kind of like sectioned out exactly what we're talking about, but like the overall subject matter is about the Vision 2030 projects, which are, you can correct me if I misrepresent this, is basically Saudi projects to basically the beautification projects for Saudi, not Saudi Arabia, that's a region, right? Like Saudi Arabia, India, Dubai.
Yeah, so the kind of that small pocket of the Middle East that the Saudi government and the UAE have access to, they're going to re-beautify in an attempt to change from an oil economy where their main export is oil to a tourist economy, similar to like other tourist traps. It feels like they're moving towards something like what's it called? That the country that everyone talks about, that was like it's a huge trading hub in the Asiatic area. I'm trying to remember the name.
I'm
Crap, I'm drawing a blank. It's like people, a lot of right wingers tout it as a place you send you want to emulate because they just execute criminals.
Oh, Singapore.
Singapore, right? Thank you. Oh yes, Singapore. They want to be like Singapore, where it's just like, oh, you go to Singapore because it's pretty and rich and good, you know.
I mostly know was it when I hanged out in like more like art focused like discords, like there is a Singaporean art school that a lot of people want to go to, and then when I like kind of hang around those circles during like the COVID time, they're all like working on art to like apply to that specific college in Singapore. It was crazy.
All right, 1 second. I had something came up briefly.
Oh, okay. I'll kind of shoot shit. So the first one we're gonna be looking at of all these, actually no, I'll kind of give like a brief little thing about which ones we're gonna be talking about. So we're gonna talk about the New Marab, if I'm Raba, that's the one we're gonna be looking at. The Neom is one we're gonna be looking at. The Line, we'll probably talk a little bit about the Octagon. And then, let me see, where is the other one? Trojan. I'm gonna be mispronouncing these like fucking crazy, so excuse me. Trojena, maybe the J is silent, maybe it's not. Then Sandala. A couple of like these three we're gonna be like kind of touching on a little bit, but we're mostly gonna be focusing on Neom. Let me find that again. Neom, Macabre, The Line, and then sanitation in Dubai, which is pretty interesting because I didn't know like a bunch of things about like the sanitation related to Dubai specifically. Excuse me. So I'm gonna pull up the like the specific little infographic like piece slash website for the Neom. If I'm even pronouncing that correctly. Let me know if I'm like a little quiet because I see my audio isn't. It's decent, but I want to make sure like everyone can hear me. So this project is. So here, welcome to Neom, a visionary project that is set to transform the Red Coast. Sorry. Welcome to Neom, a visionary project that is set to transform the Red Sea coast of northwest Saudi Arabia into a futuristic city unlike any other. Launched in 2017 by His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salam bin Abdulaziz. Oh no. Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Neom is a futuristic region in the northwest Saudi Arabia powered by 100% renewable energy led by the Public Investment Fund. Neom is a place that prioritizes people and nature, creating a new model for sustainable living, working, and prospering. It is a place where humanity can progress without compromising the health of the planet. So Neom also has like specific sub projects that we're gonna are gonna touch on as well. So it's home to The Line, which we're gonna go a bit further into, Octagon, Trojena, and Sandala. So I'm gonna go back down here to the project. Welcome back.
Sorry.
You're
yes,
fine.
my wife got promoted. That's what I was excited about.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, she's gonna be working from home now. So
nice.
Yes. So Neom. So Neom's a little weird. It's a region, but it is also a private investment firm kind of thing. Like it's just there to collect investment money.
Really?
Yes. So it's the region where they're going to be building these magic, the Line, the Octagon, and the two other, the mountain tourism, and then the island. It's basically an investment hub for those regions. It's so private equity firms can just throw money at these. So they have primary interest when they get first dibs on buying land.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Yeah.
Like it's just because of that they have
This
control over this part.
Yeah. So this is basically a geopolitical tier money funnel.
Oh man.
Yeah. So basically, the whole idea is that they have these big projects so they can suck in money. And it's of my opinion that they are going to haphazardly do these projects, similar to what we're going to discuss with what happened in Dubai. And that money will be essentially embezzled. And these projects will either go unfinished, or when they are finished, they will be issues.
Okay, so it's more like a it's they're worrying about the consequences of what this will entail.
Yeah.
Until they're dead and they don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, essentially the plan is we don't have to worry about this until 2030. Similar to like how Dubai isn't interesting anymore because they finished it.
Oh, okay.
Like no one care. Like the only people that care about Dubai are social media influencers who want to look rich. It's not the shiny new city. anymore. It's starting to age, and it's starting to show its age, if that makes sense.
No, I get you 100%.
So,
like I never hear anybody, at least in my day-to-day life, who are like normal people who are like, oh, I want to go to Dubai for my vacation.
yeah, it's a rich people vacation. Also, you don't hear architecture people talking about Dubai anymore, because the only thing that was interesting about Dubai, its architecture, was the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building ever built.
Yeah, if I remember correctly. Oh, let me look up this architect real quick.
Mhm.
Let me see. There was a specific female architect who was like very involved with the Dubai project, who passed away. Zaha Hadid, if I remember correctly. And she, if I remember correctly, someone could correct me, she was involved with the Dubai project.
Yes. So, with Neom, the big thing that is going on with Neom is like it's just these big projects that have all been announced. So the line was announced in January 2021. The Oxagon, sorry, was announced in November. Torjania, I think that's how you pronounce that. Tornia.
Mm-hmm. We can only guess because
the mountain area is the mountain resort is going to be was announced in March of 22, and Sindala was announced in December of 22.
Okay. Yeah, I pulled it up. Zaha Hadid worked on the Opus, which is a project in Dubai, which is this.
Yeah. Interesting, yeah. And so all of these were announced in...
This is 2012 with this project, and it finished in 2020.
Yeah.
So it's essentially like get out with the old and with the new eventual projects.
Yeah, so it's the big thing I'm noticing with this is that it's what we would call this in America is gentrification.
Yeah.
They're getting rid of any of the old rustic Ottoman Empire era buildings. Anything that predates what they want is going. And we'll get into that later. Same with so all of this is getting all these things are getting announced in Riyadh. Riyadh is important because this ties into the cube, right?
Yeah, the macabre. So this is so Riyadh. It's the capital and large city of Saudi Arabia. Oh, Yummy Chicken has a question.
Yes.
But
What's up?
couldn't Saudis make a killing by building solar farms?
They could, but that's the thing is like because they're building mega structures, those have to power. Those have to be powered, and because of the size of them, they're not going to have spare solar. They're gonna struggle to power the things they're building. They're not gonna have access to sell. If they wanted to be if they wanted to be green energy, they would have switched to green energy. This is resort tier.
Yeah.
This is resort oriented.
I got a video on the Neom. So let me know if you can hear it.
What is Neom? This is Neom, or here to be more precise, in the northwest of Saudi Arabia. But Neom.
Yes. Oh, getting that going back. We get a good zoom in of like the area we're kind of like referring to, essentially. That like a lot of what we're gonna be talking about is like located
in the northwest of Saudi Arabia. But Neom is more than a place. It's a home for people who dream big. Bigger than that. That's more like it. It'll be a hub for innovation, an entirely new model for sustainable living. The vision for a new future. In fact, that's how it got its name. But what will be there? There's Oxagon, a thriving city at the crossroads.
Okay, so we have
Can you pause?
Oxagon.
Yes.
Yes.
So the reason it's named Neom is from the Greek word where is it? Give me a sec. Etymology. So yeah, it's a blend of Greek word neo meaning new, and then an Arabic word meaning future. So new future is essentially what they're calling it. The idea for this is it's turning an entire region of their country into a mall.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. It's going to be a mall. You go there to do things, and when you don't have shit to do, when you're rich, it's a playground for people with too much money.
And specifically, this location right here is basically a massive shipping yard. I believe you told me it was.
Yes.
Here.
So the idea with the Oxagon is it's going to be a industrial city. The idea is it's just going to be a port meant to support the line, the mountain area, and the island.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So you have the port of Neom, you got the Oxagon Village, you got the Wadi, the Oxagon Innovation Bay, and then you have the industrial quarter. I think another thing that needs to be pointed out, this is being built in the desert.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be, you have to worry about logistics as well, how they're gonna get food, how they're gonna get fresh water, how they're gonna power this. This has to come from somewhere.
Yeah, and so the other thing is you need food, you need water, you need
sanitation.
Sanitation, yep. And so if you look at the bottom half, that is all industrial storage.
Yeah, it's all it's basically storage units.
The Oxagon Innovation Bay is crazy.
Yeah.
That's so it's just we built tech here.
Oh, you have research innovation.
This is going to be a university. I can. That's the vibe I get from it. Is it's going to be a university or a, God forbid, a sweatshop.
Yeah, you're going to be inadvertently locked to this location because it's going to be okay, how do you let me go back to the video. It's go back here, where it's located. So it's gonna be. I
don't know. You're good.
Accent went full screen accent, but it's gonna be fine. Here. I don't see any. At least from what I can tell from the topology, there doesn't look like there's any close cities, villages to this location right here.
I think.
Sorry.
I need to look at that region real quick.
Okay.
Because I think that river is the one that leads into the Black Sea.
Okay, then I will let this video play while you.
No, you're good.
Go back here. I'm gonna play this video.
A thriving city at the crossroads of the world, where advanced manufacturing will enable industries of the future. Trojena, a year-round mountain.
Okay, and this Trojena is a mountain region that also is having a project built for it. Let me go back here. Find Trojena. Bam. It's amazing how inexplicably, probably not the right word, but how many of these projects are directly connected to each other in some way or form. So this seems to be the conceptualization, at least the ArcViz conceptualization of what they want to do with this region.
Okay, so if I'm looking at this correctly, so yes, this is the access way to the Black Sea. I don't remember the name for it, but Neom's going to be built on the horn of this little area that leads to the Black Sea, and you know how there's like that. They have a similar thing to Panama there, right?
Yeah. So it has like where they lower and raise the levels of the
yeah,
water?
a causeway, I think is the name of it, or something like that, where you can move ships
Canal.
from canal. Where they move ships from the Black Sea into the region to bypass the Horn of Africa.
It's very interesting that they're using that specific location.
Mm-hmm.
I assume
It's because I imagine it's going to be a huge tourist trap for sailors who are like, because that trip takes forever, and so the idea is that they do this, they come around and hang out there, or their families will be there.
Okay.
Because that's the other thing. It's this just seems like they're building a naval base, essentially, where they like everyone comes in, their families are there, so whenever they pass through the region, they get shore leave to visit their family and then head out. It's a very good place to put that kind of thing.
Yeah. Like it's just like primo real estate. It's like crazy that.
Mm-hmm.
But I assume like the reason nothing has been built there before just because of it's like
there's just a lack of resources.
Yeah.
And the island Sindala is one of those islands up top right next to that split causeway. And I don't know if I'm using the word causeway right. This way. So you see how there's one on the left and one on the right? One of those two islands is going to be Sindala.
I believe it's this one, at least from the shape
of
it.
No, it's the little ones.
Oh, a little one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you mean like these right here?
Yeah, one of those two. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's fucking tiny.
Yeah.
Okay, so go back.
Where advanced manufacturing will enable industries of the future.
And we're playing a video game.
Trojana.
But then we have Trojana here.
Yes, that's going to be the mountain resort.
Yes, the mountains are here, and then we have it right here. But I was talking about like this, like kind of like the ArcViz or like conceptualization of what they want to do with it. Not gonna lie, this seems very kind of pie in the sky with how much green there is here, because there's gonna be a lot of fucking water. You're gonna need to keep this as green as it wants to.
Well, it's supposed to be a skiing resort.
Oh, it's a skiing resort?
Yeah, outdoor skiing adventure.
What the? Oh my god! Well, I was even looking. What? No, it's in the desert.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So I'm originally from Utah. This is normal. This is basically they want to build a bunch of mountain resorts for people to get away from the rigmarole and be out in the nature.
No, give me chicken. I think that would be like less like Disneyland on crack and more like
less Disneyland and more of like
Vegas.
You go Vegas. Vegas is a good example. It's a place where you go expecting to lose money.
Yeah.
You show up with amount of money and you leave knowing that amount of money will be smaller when you leave.
So this is
this is where a lot of this is where a lot of business types are going to go spend their like vacations, and they're going to do their retreats here, that kind of vibe.
Okay. Yeah.
So like everyone who's supposed to be down in Neom doing the we're innovating the world sweaty thing, they're going to come up here for their like getaway retreat where everyone gets a voucher for half off spending time with their boss at this ski resort.
Oh my god. This is a destination for sustainable mountain tourism. Is a place where nature, architecture, and technology come together to offer world-class experiences and host unique festivals and events, such as the 2029 Asian Winter Games. Oh, so this needs to be done by then.
Yep, this is the plan is for this is basically an Olympic event thing. They're planning to do this for like It's not going to be the Winter Olympics, but it's still like this is going to be their regional thing.
So the figures 1 month on on average of sub-zero temperatures.
Yeah.
I want to like see like inside because it looks like you can see like it's cavernous with like a path over it.
Yeah.
See if there's any other. See the gallery. Oh, okay. Here's like they're kind of showing a
Yeah. A flyover of it. Is there sound?
Yeah. Oh. Apologies.
Journey to New Heights, a unique global destination driven by cutting-edge technology in Neom. This is Trojena. Breathtaking architecture and innovative engineering fold seamlessly into the natural landscape. Ascend to a vertical village, a portal connecting the digital and the physical. The seasonal climate provides a multitude of high-altitude adventures in the Arabian Peninsula, with the region's first outdoor ski experience.
A big thing to remember with deserts is that they don't get no snow. They just, when they get snow, it's not very thick. It's probably the wrong type for skiing.
Yeah.
Because, fun fact, again, based on where I've lived, did you know that one of the reasons that there are a lot of the Winter Olympic records are really hard to beat is because they were all set in Utah? And the reason that they were set there is because ice forms differently at the altitude where the Winter Olympics were held in Utah.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Yes, so because the ice formed the way it does, people were going faster. Specifically, the ice skaters, the indoor ice skaters, because of the altitude. Water has a lower melting point at higher altitudes, right? So
yes.
When you're how skates work is when the blade comes in contact with the surface, it melts it, right?
Correct.
So reducing friction. If you can melt more water, you get to go faster. So at a higher altitude, more water melts, faster you go.
Man, I'm like surprised at this point. Imagine if they went back to Utah, like how differently those like records would change.
Yeah,
like, I wonder because of climate change if they would like still not even reach the original like records because of like the environment being so vastly different from that time.
It might. Again, it's mostly the altitude that changes how like that dynamics work. Just because, like, again, lower melting point. A lot of ice sports work on the idea that you are reducing friction through melting ice against the surface that you're standing on.
Mm-hmm.
So, like skiing, snowboarding, again, you're pressing your board against the surface, and it melts. And that melting allows you to reduce the friction against the snow.
Oh my god, someone's gonna fucking die. Like when you say that, I'm like, oh, someone's gonna die if they do like winter games in this area.
I don't think so. It's the issue of that the snow is probably not going to be good quality. They're probably going to have to use snow machines.
All right, so it's going to be more
which
costly.
Is a thing. Like, yeah, it's just a new cost that is probably not being fronted in the video. I will look up the region.
Okay. Yummy chicken. Yeah, like yeah, if there is like a financial like crisis, like a lot of this stuff is just not gonna survive because it's not really like they say it's sustainable, but it's like they can't really sustain it on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I assume like because they're built in a desert, it doesn't have the rich natural resources it would need to be able to like provide for itself. I'm gonna let the rest of this video play.
Yeah, their coldest month, January, the average temperature was 53 degrees.
Oh my no!
That's so warm.
It's too warm.
Their wettest month, January. Do you know how much precipitation they got?
10%.
0.32 inches.
Oh no!
Enjoy
That's
the buzz of world-class entertainment.
that's per square feet, I
The
believe.
crisp mountain air and the
God.
world's most advanced health and well-being center nourish both body and soul. And as night falls, you can witness the stars as you've never seen them before. Welcome to Trojena, the mountains of Neome.
Can you kind of see why this seems ridiculous?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that they're trying to, this is terraforming rather than ecological sustainable ecological construction. This is terraforming. This is Saudi Arabia putting forward the idea that they can just master their landscape and change it. And cool, if they pull it off, hell yeah. This will be technology that will allow us to go to other planets. I don't think they can do it. And the reason I don't think they can do it is because this is going to be a sinkhole for money, you know?
Yeah, like this project feels like it is a waste what they could be putting
Yeah.
into like their actual country.
Yeah.
Like their people need help. They don't
Can I
need
point something out?
What?
Okay, real quick, the video we're watching right now, they're going up,
Yeah.
which is crazy. That's not how
Yeah.
physics work.
Well, it's a I assume it's like a simulation, but like CGI.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I get it
Oh.
now. Yeah,
New heights.
it makes sense
But-
now.
But like, if you're trying to make it reality, you probably want it to be more
Yeah,
reality. Than
I
this.
thought it was a commercial. This is it. I thought it was a like come see our thing commercial. No, this is a we are the future. We're going up. We're going to the moon.
Yep. Yeah.
Yes, and Yummy Chicken, you are right. This is comically unsustainable. We'll go over that in Dubai when we get to the Dubai section.
So okay, so they look like they're gonna have about 700 residents. Annual
And
tourists by 2030.
Okay, so that is look at the ratio to people who will live there, meaning laborers, and tourists.
Where's the laborers mentioned? Is it that the 700?
That's the residents. The residents would be people who live there to live there.
So it's gonna be this many tourists, this many residents. What the?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Is it gonna be like the freaking Qatar Olympic situation where people just living in squalor?
Yeah,
Trying to
absolutely.
fucking- ugh.
Because here's the thing. This
Okay.
number includes people who have to maintain. This number includes the people who have to do waste management. That number includes people who have to continue construction after it's finished. That number is unrealistic, is my point.
Yeah, it feels too low. Yeah,
Mhm.
yes.
And 3,600. I will let me look up a resort. Snowbird, Utah.
Yeah, my assumption is that they're probably going to have like a lottery system, possibly to go there, because
Yeah.
like this seems like this how many tourists they're expecting 700,000 seems like a bit low,
Mm-hmm.
like for what
So
they
okay,
want.
here's a similar number. So the resort city in Utah named Snowbird. It's a very famous resort. It's about 25 miles east of Salt Lake City.
Okay.
It has a year-round population of 50 people. It gets 1 million visitors annually.
Oh my god.
Yes. So the issue with those numbers is that the reason Snowbird is sustainable is because the employees are not residents. They come out of they come up to Snowbird to work and then go back to the valley. because it's only 25 miles. However, Neom is looking at itself being self-sustaining, meaning
Yes.
everyone in the city is everyone who works in the city lives in the city.
Okay. I wanted to see like if they had like projection for Neom itself, but it doesn't look like it. I probably would have to go into each individual projects to see
And do the
like
math. And that seems like 4 natural areas, coast. Yeah. So the idea with the Sindala is that is a desert island.
yeah.
That's an unpopulated island that they're going to turn into a like resort.
Like right here, it says they're expecting at least 2,400 daily visitors.
Daily
That
visitors
that
by
seems pretty
2028.
low for like wanting to turn a profit on like a literal island.
Oh
you're
yeah, no,
making
but
in the
that's
desert.
if you look at the dock, those are all yachts.
Oh, okay. So yeah, okay. So supposed to it's just like rich people come in, they'll like spend like maybe a day there, eat.
So
golf.
people who want to go visit are going. So the rich. This is the vision. People who want to visit Neom will visit Neom through the line. People who want to visit Neom will visit through Sindala.
Oh, okay. So there's basically going to be like almost like a class essentially of people who the rich go here, the poor go through the line.
Yeah, they have that island is a hotel, a dock for yachts, some bungalows, and a golf course.
So they have 3 luxury hotels, A6 berth marina offshore, 75 offshore species. Okay, daily visitor. Area luxury retail outlets 51.
Yeah, this is tiny. This is super tiny.
Oh, here we go. We have to let me see if there's one that's in English. Here we go. There we go.
Islands. Home to advanced civilizations. Ancient mysteries. Legends from millennia ago.
And this place is a golf course.
But now, we live in a new era.
Oh, okay. Okay, this goes with what you were talking about, Killjoy, where they're like trying to get rid of like the old and replace it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's time for a new story. A legend of a place beyond the horizon.
I want you to understand there are literal stories.
In the pristine
The idea of burning away Poseidon is the level of hubris is out of control.
Yeah. This is very obviously, they can tell it's like it's just composite. Like this is just like some like photos being parallax.
Oh yes, yeah, parallax or AI even.
Oh yeah.
Where every moment.
Oh yeah.
Because this was in 2022 where AI was available.
Is an inspiration. And a new world is unveiled.
I've seen that map before. Do you know where I've seen that map before? There's a map on Lockdown Protocol that looks like that.
Like this?
Yeah.
Oh my god. like this, like I won't lie. I like how this looks. Like a canopy.
Yeah, no, that's
and like the layered it. Like it looks very like pretty, and it does look more like it's trying to integrate at least with like the feel of what they want to go for.
But again, you can see that it's yacht centric. This is rich people. This is rich people.
it's like just rich people free fun time.
Like this is billionaire resort.
Story. Be part of the legend. Sindala.
All right. Go back to this video. We got to Tragedian and then we got sidetracked by Sindala.
A year-round mountain destination. Just remember to pack your skis when you visit. Or if skiing's not your thing, there's always Sindala.
We made to Sindala.
Yeah. Let's go.
Neom's many beautiful islands. Perfect for some R&R. And a line.
Okay, now we got the line. So
So the line was the big project that everyone memed on because this is patently absurd. This is a skyscraper that is the idea is it's a skyscraper laid out horizontally.
Let's
Instead of
let the
vertically,
video
it's-
play just
yeah.
so they can see it. Then we can like go into it.
100-meter high, 200-meter wide, 170-kilometer
fucking
long
crazy
city
right
in the
here.
shape of, well, a line. No roads, cars, or emissions. And everything its 9 million residents could ever need within a 5-minute walk. But best of all,
Okay,
the
like,
entire region will offer unparalleled
see, like that's just crazy. Like, how long is that? When we get to that, how long is that
170,000 kilometers. 170 kilometers. Sorry.
like if you wanted to compare that to like the border,
They have
wall,
some. They
Is it like-
have some comparisons. The line is the same length as. Give me a sec.
to the Great Wall of China, or
No. The line. They compared it to. Oh, there's a comparison somewhere. Let me find it.
oh, you're good. I will let this play.
access to nature and will be powered by clean energy. All within easy reach of the rest of the world. I know what you're thinking. Why does the world need NEOM?
That's a good question.
Oh my
The
god!
world needs NEOM because the world needs change. That's what we mean when we say
Made to change.
NEOM represents a global opportunity.
This sounds like
for
a
one,
Five Gum commercial.
changing how the
Yeah.
world does business by making the region a special economic zone, easing the way for entrepreneurs to blaze their trail. 2, changing the way we live our lives with preventative healthcare and the highest
Oh, isn't
standards
that
of
wonderful?
livability. Sounds nice, right? And 3, changing how we look after nature and our planet. Because without this, what use are 1 and 2? But how will NEOM achieve these aims, you may ask? Within NEOM are 14 sectors. Spearhead.
So
Okay,
so the
here we
first
go.
one- oh, wait,
I found
yeah.
the infographic that I was looking for. I will put it in the chat for you.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. It's in the article that we're going to be covering later.
Oh, okay.
But it's appropriate now.
Let me just grab it. Okay, how big is the line? How far would Saudi Arabia's line project stretch elsewhere?
Yeah, it's from Bristol to London and Willington to New York.
So it has the height of the line compared to other landmarks. The line, the Empire State Building, Eiffel
Yeah.
Tower. Damn. All right. I'm gonna grab them and put that in our line
So,
tab.
one of the issues with the line being this long is so the weather in Bristol is going to be different from the weather in London, right?
Correct.
However, since it's a concentric building, that means there will be stresses. There will be 3 stresses. There will be hot stresses, cold stresses, and stresses of hot and cold meeting on the same surface. Right?
Yes. I'm just a vision. Like you say that, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, so like you have a glass paneled structure with 3 different temperature inputs.
Yeah, because come back here. They show it like as almost like a mirror
Mhm.
blocking off the line from the rest of let me go back here, right here. So it's just like almost like a mirror
Mhm.
just going through the whole
and
entire area.
So the issue with that is like so there's going to be temperature differentials across the surfaces of these objects. And so when inclement weather hits one side and uninclement weather in the desert hits the other, the middle of that structure will be hit with the stress of having to deal with hot temperatures meeting cold temperatures across its surface. And from my understanding, that means that it will there will be a fight for the temperatures to shoot across each other, and
Yeah.
things will rapidly expand and contract as they feed each other, and it will cause stressing undue stressing in that middle bit.
I'm also like looking at this, how it's like split in the land half. There needs to be some porosity for like the wind to pass through. Also,
Mhm.
you have to worry about like natural
Yeah, birds are
wildlife.
gonna hit that like it's a window.
Yeah, like birds can't
Also,
see
you have the
glass.
issue of it becoming a parabola, and death lasering anything on either side of the wall if the sun hits it right.
Yeah, yep. That's a thing you have to worry about.
Yeah. I'll pull up the building.
Let me go back to like this right here. 14 sectors. We got energy, water,
Yep. Here we go.
mobility, technology,
I'm
food,
gonna
manufacturing.
deposit the 20 Fenchurch Street building. It's a building that had a mirrored surface in London, but because of the way the surface was built, it would focus sunlight, and so there was a parking spot that it kept hitting, and people's cars would burst into flames. Let me find it. There's a story. Yeah, Death Ray skyscraper
Criticism. Death ray, solar glare problem, Sky Garden. Yeah, okay, so solar glare problem.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Death Ray's skyscraper wreaking havoc in London.
Oh, death. Okay, so a giant in London is melting cars, frying bike seats, and scorching sidewalks. But it's not Godzilla. Oh my god.
Yeah, not
It's
the epic Chungus.
walkie-talkie, the nickname for the 38-story skyscraper on Fenchurch Street in central London. The glare reflected from the glass-fronted building was so strong that people changed its name to Death Ray skyscraper. Now the $300 million structure is once again wreaking havoc on the nearby street. The gust of wind at the base of the buildings are so powerful that they are blowing people over and toppling signs off the nearby buildings. Quote, I almost got blown over the other day walking up past the building. When I got around the corner, it was fine. I was scared to go back, a sales assistant at a nearby store told the Capitalists. The wind, quote, the wind is so strong on this side of the street, we usually have to keep the doors closed to so stop the clothing getting blown around, said another. It's called the down drought effect. When the wind hits a tall building, it has nowhere else to go, so it is pushed up, down, and around the sides. But the air that is pushed downwards creates a sort of wind tunnel at the base of the building. The result, increased wind speed down the street below. What the fuck?
It's just that this building, the building was curved in such a way that it was catching wind and tunneling it down. And then same with the sunlight. The front of the building was concave, so it would capture light and focus it into a beam, and that would cause the car seats. It caused fires. It damaged sidewalks. It's crazy. And it's so funny. It's what it is it's an architectural oversight. And it comes from bad design principles.
Yep. It's like when you are it's one of the things you have to be cognizant of when you are where are you placing a building, where you're designing a building, what materials you're making the building out of. Are we sure a supervillain didn't design that building? I mean,
let's look up the architect. I don't think he gets much work anymore.
Yeah. So it would probably yeah. Let me look back in the wiki page. Let me see. Architecture style. The architect Raphael Vinoli. Let me see if it has like their firm. Amazon Associates Architects.
Mm-hmm.
So Toronto-based architecture firm, 1934.
It was the French Canadians.
No, not the Quebecois.
No. But yeah, so it's very funny because this isn't the first time this has happened. This is a known
Oh,
conundrum.
2023.
No. He never saw his evil plans come
No, he
to
did.
fruition.
He did. It was 10 years before he died.
That's crazy. No, but yeah, this is a common issue with buildings. There's buildings in New York that they have to basically knock out entire floors to allow wind to pass through them because the structural struts were getting stressed to the point they were cracking. And so they had to what is it? It's that building where each at the top, each floor is its own penthouse.
Is the Trump building or
No, it's not a Trump
Oh.
building. But it's basically you ran out of floor, and that's your house. And it's they did a expose on it. It's basically a big scam. It's very expensive property that if you don't live in, it defaults the property taxes default to the minimum in New York. So unoccupied properties in New York, the default price for their property tax is the minimum. I think it's the minimum, or it's the median or average. I'm trying to remember. It's basically there's a floor, and when you aren't occupying a building, your property taxes drop to the floor. And so they live in they purchase the building. The price of apartments in New York always go up. They sell them at their peak, and they never occupy them. It's just an investment strategy.
Okay, so it looks like complete in 2014. So they probably had to when that started happening, they had to go and redesign some things.
Yeah.
They don't
I
mention
imagine
the death ray.
if I remember correctly, they polarized the front
glass?
of the building. Yeah, so it doesn't reflect light anymore.
Oh yeah, I see. You can see right here.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So they
So you still have
slapped
it here.
some. Yeah, they slapped some.
right here.
Fucking yeah.
Fucking death ray buildings.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's very funny. But yes, back to the line. Same issue is going to happen. They have to either break up the beams with like that slat structure, or they have to polarize everything to avoid it catching light. I do like that you can see that they've absolutely polarized everything so light doesn't reflect.
Right here? Let me see.
Yeah.
There.
Well, if you scroll down to the not on the line. The line is completely reflective.
Oh, you're
in their
saying for
planes.
the death beam?
Yeah.
Where do I have it? Right here.
Mhm.
Yeah, right there.
So yes, so this is their plan. So energy, water, mobility, technology. This is all. I'm going to be perfectly honest. This is all garbage and gobbledygook. The thing before. It's just a bunch of buzzwords. These are buzzwords to get investment.
Sport, design, construction, finance,
sport.
services, health. Well, like health, well.
These are all things that. Yeah, these are all things your city should have anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we the city skylines. Like, man, you sure already had this figured out. I'm gonna finish up this video.
Spearheaded by the world's best talent, each sector has been designed to advance technology and push the very limits of human knowledge. Imagine NEOM as a prototype for a better future. A future for all. One being built to last. Sound good? Great. So when the world asks, what is NEOM?
Okay, so either that, but then we have like the real horrors. relay what
Yes.
we're going to the awful shit now. I'm gonna close
Yeah.
that video because we're done with it. Neom, Saudi forces told to kill to clear land for Eco City. So
Okay,
apparently
so-
there's people in these locations.
Yeah, so okay. When we built the railroads, the Transcontinental Railroad, right?
Yeah, a lot of Chinese people died.
Well, it wasn't just that. It cut through people's property.
Yeah.
Same with the highway project. That cut through people's property. And you could do one of two things. Sell to the government or wait for the military to show up to move you. And so this is the military showing up to move you. Essentially, they have been given orders to kill people who refuse to move. We should read the article.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I was gonna say, like, this is also an issue with the border wall in America, where it's cutting through people's property and basically damaging people's property. Okay,
Yeah.
so we got here. We got this is like what the line, finger quotes, is gonna look like conceptually. Let me drink some water.
The fact that it goes into the ocean too is insane.
Oh, good job, Name. Hope you did well. Okay. The Saudi Arabia authorities have permitted the use of lethal force to clear land for a futuristic desert city being built by dozens of Western companies, an ex-intelligence officer has told the BBC. Colonel Rabi Alinzeh says he was ordered to evict villagers from a tribe in the Gulf state to make way for the line, part of the Neom Eco Project. One of them was subsequently shot and killed for protesting against eviction. The Saudi government and Neom management refused to comment. Neom, Saudi Arabia's $500 billion eco region.
Excuse me.
No, you're fine. Neom, Saudi Arabia's $500 billion eco region, is part of its Saudi Vision 2030 strategy, which aims to diversify the kingdom's economy away from oil. Its flagship project, The Line, has been pitched as a car-free city just 200 meters, 656 feet wide, and 170 kilometers, 106 miles long, though only 2.4 kilometers of the project is reportedly expected to be completed by 2030. That is so little.
Yeah,
That's
that's
so little.
what is that? 1 second, I'll get a percentage on that.
Okay. And we have the previous infographic we were looking at. So this is what it's like, finger quotes, going to be once it's done, but like even this says it's not going to be done until
That's
much
less than
later.
1% of the project.
So if I go to Bloomberg,
That's 0.014% of the total project done.
oh, here we go. Saudis scale back ambitions for 1.5 trillion desert project Neom. Neom, the line was expected to house 1.5 million by 2030. Now fewer than 300,000 are expected to live there by then.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So I'll go back to that once we finish this article.
No, you're good. But yeah, I did the math. That's 0.014% of the final length.
Oh my god. Okay, so dozens of global companies, several of them British, are involved in Neom's construction. The area where Neom is being built has been described as the perfect blank canvas, I highly doubt that, by Saudi leader Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. But more than 6,000 people have been moved for the project, according to his government. And UK-based human rights group Alquist estimates the figure to be higher. The BBC has analyzed satellite images of 3 of the villages demolished. Let's see. Kuraba.
I would say sure.
Kuraba, Sharma and Gayal, homes, schools, and hospitals have been wiped off the map. This is Sharma village bulldozed and cleared. So drag left. Okay, here we go. So this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like now.
Yeah.
What it looked like a whole entire fucking ecosystem of people, their homes, their families. Now it's just Bupkis. Like, that's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's basically this is some Manifest Destiny. It's a blank canvas to us. kind of thing. Basically, these people are indigenous, and Saudi government has control of their land, not necessarily from their land, is bulldozing their land. They've probably lived in that region for generations, and they're like, no, this is our blank canvas to paint on now.
That very much tracks with like what we're talking about, like them getting rid of the old and replacing it.
Yeah, this is gentrification.
Yeah, like
this is a regional gentrification.
Like, but where are they moving these people? Are they just like...
They're not. That's the thing, is these people are being told, figure it out. I'm guessing. I don't have the details on that. They're not in the article from what I've seen.
Yeah.
That's probably why they're protesting. Their government probably doesn't care.
I can only assume, because like, if you're gonna spend this much money on just basically like... This project isn't just building the buildings, it's also clearing the land around where these structures are going to be placed, which is also going to add to the cost. Also, like, so when you build, the earth you build on matters a fucking lot. And if you build on earth that is unbuildable, you have to replace that earth.
All
so like if you build it,
until you get to earth that you can build on.
Yeah, so this is like clay. They would have to replace whatever they were like gonna build over.
So in this region, a lot of the dirt is going to be like sandstone, limestone, stuff that if you put a lot of weight on, it will compact.
It isn't limestone isn't too bad if you are prepping for it, but I'm like there's like softer material that is like more hazardous.
The issue with building on limestone is that you expose it when you build on it to moisture, and moisture dissolves limestone, so you have to account for that. It's the idea that like this region is notoriously bad for building large structures on because it is all sand.
Correct.
And loose earth. Kind of the kind of earth that if you build something heavy on it, it will settle because it's not granite. It's not bedrock. It's not these solid rocks that are attached to the roots, to like the crust of the earth.
Yeah, like I'm trying to remember. There it was in school. Like there was a teacher. A bunch of the teachers were actually like practicing architects that worked like in other firms, and she told the story of where I believe they had to go to someplace. I think it was either in the Middle East or Spain, and they weren't honest with exactly what type of earth was in that location. And before they had got there, they had actually like placed like I don't know if it was sediment or like gravel or something over that location, and it like caused issues with the project because like they had accounted for this specific material to be there, but actually it was this material. So they'd be like, okay, we either have to go, we can't do this project, or you're gonna have to take a loss and like replace all what you did to this area to build on it.
And then other things. This project does not seem to be taking into account things like earthquakes.
Or tsunamis.
Yes, or tsunamis. In a desert, what happens when there's an earthquake is the sand liquefies.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is because sand is loose material, if you shake it, it creates air pockets that you can fall through. So if you build on sand, if there's an earthquake, your building just gets sucked into it.
I assume they probably have like a what was the word I'm looking for, like a not rebar, but like they have like a mesh almost underneath the building to account for that. I assume that would probably like I'm not familiar with like the building regulations for like building on sand or in the desert, so that was something I would have to look up. But I assume like at this point they know what they need to like prep for and the cost of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a little video demonstrating what I'm talking about, just for the audience, because not everyone knows what that looks like.
Go.
And it's basically I gave you the timestamp of when it starts.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I
No
saw
problem.
Like,
You're good.
Okay.
So they put it on a shaking table to simulate an earthquake, and that's what happens. Is it just eats it?
It's fucking liquidy. Oh my god.
Yeah. Because it was dry sand. You put liquid underneath it. You start shaking it. All that moisture moves up and liquefies it, turning it into mud. That's why landslides happen.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Okay, so soil liquefaction. Liquefaction designates the generic term for the loss of shear strength of cohesion-less soil due to excess poor. Oh my god. Excess poor water pressure caused by silic, but not exclusively loading.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Basically, this is why you tamp down earth to give it more of a it reduces the amount of pores for this exact eventual issue. So if you build on sand, so like this is a huge problem in places like Japan, because Japan's an island, everything's built on sand.
Yeah. Well, Japan also themselves have like a different way of designing their buildings to like accommodate that, and also a lot of their buildings are very much like so what I'm looking for, it's like not so much like a nail and board, but more like slotting, almost sort of like joints.
Japan built with materials native to the region, in ways that the region could support. That's why all their buildings last forever, because their buildings get stronger with age, because they use wood nails made of the same material their struts are made out of. And so when they expand, they get tighter.
I didn't realize I accidentally muted the tab. I was like, why there's no sound?
No, you're good.
Like,
no, you're good.
It was fine. It was just for demonstration.
Yeah.
Thank you, Falgi. so we're gonna go back to the article. So,
yep.
Colonel Alan Z, who went into exile in the UK last year, says the clearance order he was asked to enact was for Al Kuraba, 4.5 kilometers south of the line. The village were most populated by the Huedi tribe, who have inhabited the who I'm trying to say these names.
Who've inhabited the region. Just say the region. You can just say the region.
In the country's northwest for generations. He said the April 2020 order stated the Huedi was made up of mainly many rebels, and whoever continues to resist eviction should be killed. So it licensed the use of lethal force against whoever stayed in their home. What the fuck?
Yeah, so effectively this is like if your local government approved a mall and they were like, well, if anyone doesn't want to move, just shoot them. A private mall, because that's what it is. This is a private equity project owned by the Saudis. They're the government too, but it's like
private
equity is saying move them. Government saying okay, use guns.
It's so
And
fucked up.
yeah, it's basically like if you eat like new McDonald's, everyone evacuate.
Like when it, I don't know if the directive is different for. It's probably the directive is different for different countries, different governments. It's
Mhm.
like, well, at least when I was in school, like the main like driving force that they try to nail in your head is sustainability, being as unobtrusive to the environment and the people living within a location in a region when you build something. Like when we
Mhm.
get into the macabre, like that is like antithetical to like what I was taught that needs to be done when
Yeah.
related to like
Well,
building
so
structures.
if you look at places, this is why I think Dubai is the um the blueprint for these kind of projects. Dubai was built on an ocean. It was built on
Yeah.
a beachfront. They extended the beachfront outward to build Dubai. Um, they they did it in the most damaging way possible to the environment because they wanted to prove that they could. In a lot of cases, from what I've read, is that they wanted Dubai was a project to prove that the Saudi government was in control of the land itself in that country.
Yeah, I is it Dubai also like there's like a sacred body of water, but that is also like incredibly polluted because of like
So,
a lot of the work they've been doing.
one of the things that happens with Dubai is they had to throw sand. Um,
Hmm.
and if I'm remembering correctly, it killed most of the ecology there because it was when you throw sand into water,
It messes with like
that's
the
yeah, they
balance of it.
animals also breathe that in.
Hmm.
And so like they can filter out some of that, but if you eventually um excuse me,
You're fine.
if you eventually fill the if you
The
eventually fill
gills.
the if you what's the word, if you diffuse so much dirt into the water
Hmm.
that it becomes impossible to breathe for the wildlife, you kill them. And so
Yeah,
that happened in the regions around Saudi Arabia, if I remember correctly.
I don't doubt that. They're like,
Not
man,
Saudi Arabia, sorry, Dubai.
I wish we had volcanoes so we can just like make like actual natural forming islands like in Hawaii.
Yeah, exactly. And so like, yeah, Dubai's an artificial landmass, and it shows. If I remember correctly, there's pictures of the how much Dubai's landmass has shrunk.
Yeah, because you said like the natural currents are like washing it away because it's not a natural forming landmass.
Yeah.
I wonder as well
Um,
if the earthquake principle also applies to Dubai as well. Like if there is an earthquake, it's like
I mean,
it loses the
probably.
pieces of Dubai into the sea. Bye,
um,
yummy chicken. Have a good day.
so the Palm Island is shrinking. The globe they built is shrinking. They were just like beautification projects that really didn't do much. And they're ugly, man. They look terrible. Um, they were supposed to be 3 Palm Islands. They only finished 1, I believe.
Oh my god.
So I will send you this when we get to the Dubai thing.
Okay. I'm gonna try to finish up this article. Da-da-da.
Yeah, sorry. I know
Okay.
I'm taking
No,
on lots of
you're
adventures.
fine. This is fucking interesting. Oh yeah, I heard this thing. Fuck. Okay, so he dodged the mission on invented medical grounds. He told the BBC, but it nevertheless went around. Abdul Rahim Al Huwaidi refused to allow a land registry committee to value his property and was shot dead by Saudi authorities a day later. During the clearance mission, he had previously posted multiple videos on social media protesting against the eviction.
I'm gonna grab water real quick.
Oh, okay. A statement issued by Saudi state security at the time alleged Al-Huwaidi had opened fire on security forces and they had been forced to retaliate. Human rights organizations and the UN have said he was killed simply for resisting eviction. The BBC was not able to independently verify Colonel Al-Linzi's comments about lethal force, but a source familiar with the workings of the Saudi intelligence directorate told us the Colonel's testimony regarding both how the clearance order was communicated and how what it said was in line with what they knew about such missions more generally. They also said the colonel's level of seniority would have been appropriate to lead the assignment. At least 47 other villagers were detained after resisting eviction, many of whom were prosecuted on terror-related charges. According to the UN, an inquest of those 40 remain in detention, 5 of whom are on death row, Alquist says. Several were arrested for simply publicly mourning Al-Huwaidi's death on social media, the group said. Saudi authorities say those required to move for the line have been offered compensation. Okay, so they got compensation, but the figure paid out had been much lower than the amount promised according to Alquist. That does not surprise me. That they would, the fact that they would shoot their own civilians does not surprise me. That they would also like undercut what they would promise to their civilians or citizens. Excuse me. According to Colonel Al-Linzi, Neom is the centerpiece of Mohammed bin Salam. Oh my god. Mohammed bin Salman's ideas. That's why he was so brutal in general with the Huwaidi. So this is Colonel Al-Linzi. Okay. A former senior executive of Neom's, oh my god. Sky Project told the BBC he had heard about the killings of Abdul Rahim Al-Huwaidi a few weeks before leaving his native US for the role in 2020. Andy Rith says he repeatedly asked his employers about the evictions but was not satisfied with the answers. It just, in quotes, it just reeked of something terrible that had been exacted upon these people. You didn't step on their throats with your boot heels so you can advance. You don't step on their throats with your boot heels so you can advance, he said. He left the project less than a year after joining it, disenchanted with its management. A chief executive of a British desalination? I think I'm pronouncing that right. Desalination. I don't see that word very often. British desalination company who pulled out of a 100 million project for the line in 2022 is also extremely critical. So it's okay. It's making more sense. Why they've basically basically completed like a percent of the original line is because people are seeing like how damaging it is and how like bad it looks, like what they are doing to accomplish this.
Yeah.
Okay, so it may be good for some high-tech people living in that area, but what about the rest, said Malcolm All, the CEO of Solar Water PLC.
So, desalination is kind of like a double-edged sword. It's why they built some of the, it's clearly why they built some of the line in the water. It's because that's going to be their desalination plant.
All right.
The issue is when you desalinate water, the salt has to go somewhere. A lot of times it goes back out, increasing the levels of salt in the water around that region. That kills off wildlife.
Oh my god. It's like did they like not like hire like a sustainability expert at all to like oversee any of this?
No, because they don't care, and that's why So the reason they slapped a green sticker on it is because
It looks good.
it hides the fact that it's going to be committing atrocities in the region.
Like in
Yeah.
America to I believe it's called LEED, LEED. You basically need that certification to show that you are that your certification shows that you are meeting sustainability standards for America or whatever
Yeah.
state that requires that. Like
It,
this
it,
doesn't.
you can call a project green if Leeds gives you the thumbs up.
Yeah. I need to work on getting that certification.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be fun. Let me see where I am. Okay. The local population should be seen as valuable assets, he added, given how well they understand the area. You should seek the advice to improve, to recreate without removing them. The place villagers were extremely reluctant to comment, fearing that speaking to foreign media could further endanger their detained relatives. Oh no, I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry about that. I woke up my cat. Like, why did you do that? Okay, where was I? Place were extremely okay. But we spoke to them. But we spoke to those evicted elsewhere for another Saudi Vision 2030 scheme. More than 1 million people have been displaced for the Jeddah Central project in the western Saudi Arabian city, set to include an opera house, sporting district, and high-end retail and residential units. So this one is the Jeddah Central. Let me see.
This sounds like a mall.
Yeah.
That might be on the wiki because that might be one of the
Okay.
other projects. If you scroll down to
Here we go.
mhm.
So this one is Public Investment Fund.
Yeah,
History,
this is
Central
this is
Stadium.
another, yeah. This is just another like we need to build up sports and things.
All right.
It's very obvious they're turning their country into a mall to attract people.
Yeah, I guess they don't know. We had that issue in America. Like we had like a bunch of malls, and now we just have like fucking empty malls because like people like eventually lost interest with the malls.
Well, you realize that malls were supposed to be replace cities, right?
I did not know that.
Yeah, the guy who invented the concept was like, it's supposed to be its own self-contained community.
That's crazy. Like, I just see it as like a it's just a place you go shopping. It's not like a place where you build community with people.
Yeah, I will send you this for your own personal reading because it's
you.
just an interesting topic.
Okay, so Nader Hijazi, not his real name, grew up in Azizia, one of the approximate 63 neighborhoods affected by those demolitions. His father's home was razed in 2021, for which he received less than a month's warning. That's crazy. Hijazi says the photos he had seen of his former neighborhood were shocking, saying they invoked a war zone. They're waging a war on people, a war on our identities. Saudi activists told the BBC of 2 individuals arrested last year in connection with the Jeddah demolitions, one for physically resisting eviction and the other for posting photos of anti-demolition graffiti on his social media.
Yeah, basically similar issues to like projects that happened in China back in the 90s, where they were like China was going through its own little growth period, and people were protesting, and those protests were being met with
violence.
Yeah, military violence, and so it's the idea that pushing against them is what is causing uh, them to be attacked. The government doing the benevolent thing, where like we're improving your lives. Why are you fighting us?
No, it's because
Kind of thing.
you're hurting people. Like you're like ruining. You actually are ruining
Mhm.
their lives by like forcing
But
a like a.
yeah, also Saudi Arabia is one of the few monarchies left, so this is what feudalism is like. It's just
Yeah.
yeah, it's just difficult, man. It's they this is a region that is lived in. I am also realizing that the line goes over some mountains. That's insane.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm seeing right here. Like, yeah, that's not
Those are mountains.
possible. Like,
Yeah.
if you're cutting through a mountain, you have to worry about like once you've cut that mountain, like pieces of that mountain falling into the line later on. If there's ever like
Yep.
any sort of earthquake, if there's like maybe like a big windstorm.
No, it's just like Minecraft. You just cut right through it.
Okay, so and a
They'll find
relative.
diamonds eventually. It's fine.
Oh no, maybe
Sorry.
maybe that pay for the rest of the line.
Yeah, exactly.
So go back to this. And a relative, okay, a relative of a detainee in Jihad's Dahaban Central Prison said they had heard accounts of a further 15 people being held there, reportedly for staging a free farewell gathering in one of the neighborhood's market for demolition. What the fuck? They're just doing a farewell
Mhm.
gathering. They're just saying
They're
goodbye.
mad because but they that's the thing. They want you to be happy. You can't say goodbye. You should be celebrating that you should be celebrating, not mourning.
That's stupid. The
It's awful.
difficulty of contacting those inside Saudi prisons means we have yet to be able to verify this. Aqua surveyed 35 evicted people from Jeddah neighborhoods. Of those, none say they have received compensation or sufficient warning in accordance with local law, and the more than half said they have been forced out of their homes under threat of arrest. So we see with the line. I assume this is a line, so showing where it's cutting through.
Yeah, and this story, it just rings of like Manifest Destiny, highway project kind of shit, where it's like
Yeah.
the eminent domain is what I'm
Yes.
thinking of. So like where the government can just come in and be like, we're building here, and they get to decide what you get paid for, and if they decide not to, what are you gonna do? Sue the government? No, you're gonna move.
Yeah, I'm just like,
And
where are
yeah.
these people gonna go? They're gonna go to the cities, and it's gonna cause more issues because they have nowhere to go.
Well,
and
these
you
are the cities in the region.
Then where the fuck did they just like have to like be in the desert and try to find another place that hasn't been fucking destroyed?
I mean, I don't know the region all that well, but probably.
Oh my god. So it's just a clusterfuck. Colonel Alenzi is now based in the UK, but still fears for his security. He says an intelligence officer told him that he would be offered $5 million if he attended a meeting at London's Saudi embassy with the Saudi Interior Minister. He refused. We put this allegation to the Saudi government, but they did not respond. Attacks on critics of the Saudi government living abroad are not without precedent. The most high profile being that on US based journalist. Oh, is that the guy who's like went into an embassy and was cut up to pieces? Jamal Khashoggi. Yes, Khashoggi. I remember this. Murdered by Saudi agents inside the country's Istanbul
conclave. Yeah.
Yes.
Consulate. Sorry, not conclave. Consulate.
A damning U.S. intelligence report concluded Mohammed bin Salman approved the operation. The Crown Prince has denied any role. But Colonel Alenzi has no regrets about his decision to disobey orders regarding Saudi's futuristic city. End quotes. Mohammed bin Salman will let nothing stand in the way of the building of Neom. I started to become more worried about what I might be asked to do to my own people. But yeah, I remember the fucking Khashoggi thing. It was horrifying.
Yeah, that's awful. Jesus. Yeah, this is this is wild. This is exactly what I expected from the line. Unfortunately, it's a highway project. There are people in the way. You have to move them. You don't have the resources to move them properly, so you just tell them to figure it out. Um so I don't know.
So this is the related to the line's ambition being cut off. I think I had to pay to see the rest of this. I can
Oh
just read
no.
what's the beginning blurb. So
You can try the ladder. Give me a sec. Can
I forget how to do that.
you send me the article?
Yes. Post it here. I'll let this video play a little bit.
Or limit of the soil is what enables successful design for foundations or earth-retaining structures. This video will be one of a series of geotechnical videos explaining retaining walls, shallow foundations, and stability of slopes from an engineering point of view. However, before we dive into these geotechnical applications, first we need to understand some basic principles of soil mechanics. Soils, unlike other construction materials such as steel, timber, or concrete, are almost always under compression. But interestingly, soils never fail in compression. All practical soil failures are due to excessive shear stresses. Shear stresses are less intuitive, so let's have a closer look. The shear capacity of common engineering materials, such as steel, timber, or concrete, is governed by the strength of their molecular bonds, and therefore, usually is fairly high. Soil, on the other hand, is a discontinuous particulate material made up of various size particles. The interlocking of these particles is what gives the soil its resistance to shearing. When the shear stresses along a particular...
Okay, and let me go back here. Thank you, Killjoy.
No problem.
Okay, awesome. Okay. Saudi's scale back ambition for 1.5 trillion desert project NEOM. No, did they? I swear that that figure is a lot cheaper. Not cheaper, but
Smaller
lower
now.
on their website.
Yeah, it's probably because it's been lowered.
Maybe.
It's going to be 500 billion.
There we go.
Yeah.
So we got the line here.
Yeah, I believe that the number they showed was 500 billion.
It's 9 million people.
9 million people. 9 million people is what is the largest city on planet would be.
Well, right now it's 300,000. So, okay, when was this article? This is 20. Actually, this. Let me go back here. Let me go here. Because I scroll down to here. This is updated this month. But they haven't updated the scope of this project yet.
Mm-hmm. So Tokyo is 3.74 million people. And it covers 13,000 square kilometers. Tokyo is huge.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just like, so that's it's 24%, I think, of the size.
What the? Oh my god. Yeah, they haven't updated the scope on here.
Yeah, this is it's silly. One of the biggest things I've noticed with the line, so you see in the back it's a port. Like there's little slats for them to go into the under the line and stuff, and there's boats, and the line is staggered. That's so weird.
Yeah. Like, let me see. I don't think there is. Okay, yeah, right here.
One of the biggest things they keep saying is that everything's gonna be drone fed, which is wild.
That That sounds a bit pie in the sky, not gonna lie.
Yeah, like it's got flying car energy.
Come on, let me click into it. Website.
You gotta reload. I'm sorry.
There you go.
Nope. Nope, it's not cooperating. Weird.
All right. But I'll get
Huh.
back to this article then.
Yeah.
So, okay. Saudi Arabia has scaled back its medium-term ambitions for the desert development of Neom, the biggest project within Crown Prince blah 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 blah, blah plans for diversifying the oil-dependent economy, according to people familiar with the matter. I mean, like another thing, like if it's like you don't want to be oil-dependent economy. I mean, there's different types of like fuel that is being like built and like what's the word I'm looking for? Researched. And like you could always pivot to one of those new sustainable sort of like options. If it's like we live in a desert country and it's very untenable to like build these structures in the desert, like there is a way to pivot, but like this seems like someone's like he's a pharaoh in ancient Egypt and he wants to build this like mega structure to his greatness.
That is very apt. I get that vibe from this whole project. It's just he wants new wonders for the world and he's going to be the one that builds them.
Yeah. So by 2030, the government at one point hoped to have 1.5 million residents living in the line, a sprawling futuristic city it plans to contain within a pair of mirror-cladded skyscrapers. Now, officials expect the development will house fewer than 300,000 residents by that time, according to a person familiar with the matter. Officials, oh my god, can't talk. Officials have long said the line would be built in stages, and they expect it to ultimately cover a 170-kilometer stretch of desert along the coast, with the largest pullback through officials expected to have just 2.4 kilometers of the project completed by 2030. The person familiar with the project said, who asked not to be named, discussing non-public information. All right.
Oof. I mean, let's be clear. That's because the government chops you to bits if you fuck up.
Yeah, because these won't be fucking murdered. As a result, at least one contractor has started to dismiss a portion of the workers it employs on the site, according to a document seen by Bloomberg. Representatives for Neom and the Kingdom's Public Investment Fund, the main entity that owns and is funding the project, declined to comment. Crown Prince Mohammed intends for Neom, a 1.5 trillion development on the Red Sea coast, to be a showpiece that will transform his country's economy and service as a testbed for technologies that could revolutionize daily life. Along with the line, Neom's plans include an industrial city, ports, and tourism developments. It also sets to host the Asian Winter Games in 2029 at a mountain resort called Trojena. We already covered a bit of what Trojena looks like and like the consequences of what will possibly happen when that is built. Sorry, just drink some water. To be sure, work is continuing on other parts of the Border Neom project, and officials have maintained their overall objectives for the line. People familiar with the matter said, for instance, another development within Neom that is turning an island in the Red Sea into a luxury tourist destination known as Sindala is due to open this year. Really, I kind of want to see what like Sindala looks like right now that they can just open that.
Yep, I have progress on Trojena. Trojena for you, and then I will look up Sindala.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
The pullback on the line comes as the kingdom's sovereign Sovereign Wealth Fund has yet to approve Neom's budget for 2024. The people familiar with the matter said it shows that the financial realities of the trillions of dollars of investment are starting to cause concerns at the highest level of the Saudi government as it tries to fulfill its ambitions. Its ambitious 2030 program. The overarching initiative tasked with diversifying the kingdom's economy. Already, officials have said that some of the projects outlined in that program will be delayed past 2030. A long period is needed to build. Sorry, let me read that again. A long period is needed to, quote, build factories, build even sufficient human resources, unquote. Financial Minister Mohammed Al Jadaan said in December, quotes, the delay, or rather the extension of some projects will serve the economy, unquote. Yeah.
Okay. So, of all the projects, it looks like Sindala is the most complete.
All right. So go sprawling metropolis. MBS ambitions for the. I like how he had to abbreviate Mohammed bin Salman. You want to type it out every time. Ambitions for the line have captured the attention of city planners and architects from around the world. Renderings have shown he's conceived of say that's longer than the distance between New York and Philadelphia, and is all contained within mirrored structures that would be taller than the Empire State Building at one point. Officials had hoped the line would welcome its first residents this year, but instead, Neom's main success so far has been the development of a more than $8 billion project to build solar and wind farms that we use to create so-called green hydrogen. The kingdom hopes that it can become one of the world's biggest producers of such fuel as it looks to reduce its reliance on oil sales. The latest efforts to scale back the reach of the project come as the Public Investment Fund is evaluating a range of options to raise cash, including accelerating debt sales and lining up equity offerings in its portfolio companies. Bloomberg News has reported the Sovereign Wealth Fund's cash reserves dropped to $15 billion as of September, the lowest since 2020, the earliest year for which date is available. In 2022, Crown Prince Mohammed said the first phase of Neom was expected to cost $1.2 trillion, rivals $32 billion by 2030. Half of that is expected to come from the PFI, which the de facto ruler chairs. So, like, it seems like they don't have the money to do this.
Yeah, they don't. I don't think any country on the planet has the money to do this. Because, like, that's the issue, is these are vanity projects. They're not generating anything. They're just there to look pretty. This has a bit of each of the, like, what they look like right now kind of thing.
Okay. So this is Trojena. Okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like much, not gonna lie.
No, it's not, and they have, what, 4 years?
Well,
and
yeah.
They have 4 years to build it, and it has to be like this, because that's the thing, is if they build it and it doesn't look like it's supposed to, people are going to be upset.
If it doesn't look like this.
Yeah. And the issue is the things that they've built, they've suggested are impossible, if that makes sense. I think this is a really good time to transition into the macabre, because we're getting in the weeds. I think the macabre is a perfect example of how you physically can't build this thing. It doesn't. It just physics say no.
I want to see Sindala real quick, and then yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So this one is okay. So this is an actual like image of this being built. Okay, so this one is getting there.
It looks like it's supposed to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say like the one like I'm getting like just me like
Yeah, Paper City vibe.
almost yeah like I'm it's Fire Festival. I'm getting Fire Festival vibes as well.
Yeah, no,
It's-
I call it a paper city just because it's a city made to look like a city, but it's all paper. Everything inside is just
Mhm.
like uh the outside is what's important to them because the insides don't need to function. It's a
Yeah.
display of wealth, not an actual function of wealth.
Let me see. Here. We'll start with the video for the macabre.
Hmm.
So.
A new horizon for Riyadh, a new icon, the Macabre, the world's first immersive experiential destination.
Like we'll stop right there for
Yeah, I know it's already unfortunately wild.
yeah, is it like a snow
That's a
not snowball, but
snow globe.
Snow
And
globe,
yeah, that's a VR dome.
yeah.
That is a
So-
dome that they're going to project images on, like the Sphere in Las Vegas.
So it's yeah, so like that is what like we can see how poorly that did and compare it to this, since it's gonna
Mhm.
be essentially the same function but like just on
Yeah.
the interior instead of the exterior, because we know like that sphere like just is burning money. It's not a good investment. Like I was wondering like how like when they created that like the dome in Las Vegas, like what were they like hoping to achieve like
Yeah.
financial wise? Like were they expecting people to put like advertisements on it? Like it just seems so.
So the company that owns it, MSG, sorry, is going bankrupt.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
It literally killed their company. It's costing roughly 1.2 not 1.2 125 million quarterly loss quarterly.
And like
That's
doesn't-
insane. It's just a money sink. It's a sinkhole.
which I very much see that happening here because this is also being done in a desert
Yeah.
and like
And yeah, the infrastructure alone. So this is a little different. This is an actual city that they're building it in. This is the capital of Saudi Arabia. This is where this is the seat of their government and everything. This is going to be like a beautification thing. This is like taking part of the city that they're probably either not using or misusing and building it up like this. However, what it looks like is, and this is where I struggled with this, is are they saying dining is that little area with all the plateaus and grass and whatnot, and then the resident building is up there and the retail region is up
So,
there?
I believe there's more to be added onto here.
Hmm.
If they're just doing like a cross section and saying like these things are located here, I can only assume that the residential is here, but there's more to this. Like it doesn't make sense
See,
for the
from my understanding,
right
that
here.
middle bit is a mall, is literally a mall.
Yeah,
No
I
one's going
wouldn't-
to live in there. That's the mall, from my understanding. That's the like everything thing in the middle.
I
gotta-
play the video more because I feel like there's more to it. So here, I believe this is the residential.
Yeah. Okay.
But like the way it looks, like how it's being like rendered, it looks like it's just like greenery, like it's just like a
Parks
feature.
and rec
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah. Which, let's be honest, that adds to the impossibility of this. Soil's heavy.
Yeah, like when you so whenever there's like a project we were gonna do in school and we were like, okay, we want a green roof. You have to consult the civil engineer. It's like, okay, so you need to account for this load in this location in this span to like be able to hold that weight, and you're only allowed like this sort of like
Well, so some of my understanding of architecture is that stressors increase as you try to compensate for stressors.
Yes.
The more you have to reinforce the top, the heavier the bottom has to be reinforced as well.
Correct.
Because it has to hold the weight of the reinforcements and so dirt at a top of building, awful idea. Not awful idea, but it's difficult because the building now has to support the dirt as well as the building.
Yes.
And so roofs are usually for sloughing off rain to either side of the building. That is usually what they're meant for. They're to stop the collection of things. If you make a green roof, you are allowing things to collect. Plant matter gets heavier as it gets older. Water's required, which is heavy. Water is so unimaginably heavy for its size. Like, 5 gallons of water, not 5 gallons of water, 5 square feet of water weighs like an insane amount of. Let me give me a sec.
It's like is that the Lemmy joke of like a kilometer of feathers versus a kilometer of silver sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let it play a bit more.
A gateway to another world.
1 gallon of water weighs approximately 8 pounds.
Way to another.
I think another thing that needs to be taken into account is they cut through it so fucking fast. How do you go frame by? I think it's this frame by frame. They just go through it too fast. Is you also have like this this grate right here, also like allowing for like sunlight to get through and wind. But like you also have to think it's like also allowing debris into the space. And this space is going to be holding basically a giant glass metal globe that's going to have wind battering against it, dirt battering against it, the elements battering against it, rain, yeah. If there's like a sandstorm, and like this right here is going to be like if there's like if a screen breaks down, like that's going to be an expensive fix.
Yeah. Well, okay, so one of the issues with the sphere is that the outside is LEDs and those are exposed to the elements.
Yeah.
You have to be able to get to them, which means you need infrastructure to be able to get to them, which is expensive to maintain as well. Everything you do to make this building fancy has to have accessibility points to be repaired, because if that's just a big LED screen, that has to be repaired frequently because it's going to be running non-stop, which all electronics have a service life. A service life is basically how long it can run before it burns itself out. Electronics aren't meant to run 24/7.
Nope.
They have like 10-year lifespans because you're expected to only run them a certain percentage of the time. If you run them constantly, they can have up to like a year lifespan. You burn through 10 years of expected life in a year because you're overusing it.
Also, I think like one thing, because it's supposed to be like a sort of like pie in the sky visualization, it's probably not showing like the structure that needs to be built around this. So like if anything breaks, they can just like climb up that and then grab and remove stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like, so the outside of the sphere has lots of scaffolding.
Yeah, so like they're showing like this is what they're saying it's gonna look like, but no, like if you're gonna be living, if I'm assuming correctly, this is residential. You're gonna be looking at this dome. It's just be covered in scaffolding and like exterior, like structure. Like it's saying like, oh, this is gonna look like, but no, that's not what it's gonna look like. Because how this is not gonna be able to stand on its own. because it's curving
Yeah.
in on itself. It needs support to keep itself from like caving in.
Yeah.
A gateway to another world.
Okay.
Step inside and it's unlike anything you've ever seen.
It's like this is what it says it's gonna be inside of it.
Hmm.
But like that doesn't not gonna lie, that doesn't match up with how it like is appearing here, because it's supposed to be like
No, I
a
know.
dome.
This is
It's
like, so this is underneath the dome, probably, what they're
Oh.
conceptualizing. And it looks like a black hole. It's just ridiculous. It's meant to be fantastical and whatnot.
yeah, but it just looks kind of horrifying.
Anything you've ever seen. At a scale that's unprecedented.
I think,
Okay.
like,
So this is absurd.
yeah, that shadow.
Yeah, well, no, okay. So 400 meters is insane.
Hmm.
How many meters is the Burj Khalifa?
Burj Khalifa
Is
2,717.
It's 829 meters in height. So this is half in every direction.
Oh my god. I think another important thing to like note is the size of it, but also like the lack of size of the other buildings that are gonna be around it. So like when you are building a building in a location, you have to take into consideration the height, the stories of the surrounding buildings, because buildings cast shadow, buildings block wind, they block rain, but they also can cause issues if like a building is towering over other buildings. Like there is like an almost like it's trying to portray itself as this like monolith, but there is an issue when you have a monolith next to smaller buildings. There's like this almost like this like eerie disconnect within like the ecosystem of that area, when there's just like all of a sudden there's like a massive like tower out of nowhere.
Yeah, that drop shadow, the shadow behind that building will be seen for miles.
Yeah.
And it's because it's not just a shadow, because shadows diffuse. So if you have a tall building that's thin, it's not going to cast a big shadow.
Yeah, and like when you have other buildings of similar size, like, so if you look at the Burj Khalifa, you can like there's a one that says like, oh, there's like a little like there's like an image that shows like it's kind of the shadow that it casts. Let me see if I can pull it onto here. So many tabs open. Go. So right here, you can see the shadow that it's making. Like that's manageable, and it's also being broken up by other like as it rotates through here. There's other buildings that will also break up that shadow as well as it goes over here.
Yeah.
But like the macabre, like imagine if this whole entire village, like, this whole entire like residential area is
It's
just
that
covered
tall,
by a shadow.
and it's the same length in both directions. So it's blocking everything in the residential area too.
Yeah, so it's just like a fucking eclipse.
Yeah, and the other issue is the stressors on this, because there's a garden on top too.
Yeah,
and that garden on top pushes on everything below it, which means all the reinforcements for the gardens on the inside have to support the garden on top as well. And so every pound you put on top of something is like, I'm not an architect, but like there's an equation to figure out. Like, if you put a pound on 1 pound of something on top of a building, you need like 10 pounds, like a large amount of something at the bottom of the building to support it.
Well, it would be more of like a civil engineer's job to figure that out than an architect's. Like.
But it's why people build buildings triangularly. because square
It
is
depends.
because
It depends. Like
no,
like a lot
I
of,
understand.
Okay.
But like the reason that you don't build a square is because the square evenly distributes everything downward. Everything on top of that building is going to be pushing downward. If you build a if it was a triangle shape, everything would be pushed to the sides, correct? Like it would be pushed out and diffuse over a larger area.
I would say it's not when if the civil engineer has accounted for that, it's not that big of a worry. It's more like, okay, so I'll give an example. There is basically what's it, a business building we were making, and it was being built in a location that is very windy, and it was basically a triangle. And the thing we had to accommodate for that is that the whole building itself needed to be basically encased in a steel skeleton to protect the integrity of the structure.
Yeah.
The weight isn't so much an issue when you account for it. It's just the overall, the weight plus how forces are going to be acted upon it. So like this I don't doubt it's going to be structurally sound. It's just the issue is going to be resources and the impact on the environment this is going to have.
Okay. I understand.
I get what you're saying, but like I'm letting you know like that's probably the least, like the least thing to worry about with this specific structure. I would say like the thing I would also worry about is like its capacity, like because the way this piece at the top is built or describing itself built, it's being built upon this dome. And right now we're not really shown how these pieces are connecting, like how this right here you can assume is what is going to be basically the structure, like the grounding piece for what comes at the top.
Yeah, it's basically the connection to the foundation.
So yeah, so like my issue with this is like, okay, I need to see the structure. I need to see like the span. I need to see the like I need to see like what you are doing on the top of the roof to make sure this is sound. Because right now it looks like you're gonna be teetering this little thing on top of here.
Yeah.
Like this would not gonna, like this would make more sense if it was just like a path connecting these three and there was nothing in the middle. Like with how they're presenting it. Let me go. We'll go back here. But I get what you're saying. I'm just letting you know, like.
Okay. Yeah. No. I understand you're an architect. I shouldn't argue with you.
No. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I'm just letting you know, like my worries.
If someone's accounted for it, it's accounted for.
Yeah. Like. As long as everybody's being realistic with what is being added on top.
See, that's where I'm having the issues.
Do you're look, I went to school for 5 fucking years and I worked in the field. So
I trust you more than I trust a Saudi prince, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I also am like,
I'm very skeptical of that they're going to listen to their civil engineers.
That's why I'm also like, yeah, like like. Not gonna lie, like I feel like anyone who is working on the line would have told them, "Hey, this is not gonna work," and they're like, "To the dungeon with you."
And then you get shot because you question the Saudi royal family. It's the issue with monarchy. You're not allowed to question the king or the royal prince.
Yeah, like that's my if they are literally listening to the architect, the civil engineers, their contractors that are going to be working on this building, if they're listening to their concerns and like making adjustments to this to accommodate what is within reality, it should be fine. But if they're like, shut the fuck up, do what we say, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna fucking collapse in on itself.
Yeah, and that's my worry, is that they're going to do that, and
that's a perfectly valid worry because of a monarchy.
Yeah. All right, let's hit play and get through this. Sorry, I don't.
Big
you're
enough
fine,
to hold
you're
20 Empire State Buildings, where you and those around you enter a new reality, transporting you to Mars one day and magical worlds the next, where your retail experience is completely reimagined, and hospitality, leisure, and entertainment reach new levels, all in breathtaking, ever-changing environments. This is the new face of Riyadh. Experience a new horizon.
But like, okay, that seems cool, but like I could probably experience that like at like a museum on like a smaller scale.
Yeah, like this project is fascinating in its hubris, in my opinion. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
Like-
it's yeah.
You saw it with the Sindala thing where they're burning literal depictions of Poseidon, being like, we're bringing in a new legend, and I'm like, I'm sorry, isn't there a whole epic about how not to piss off Poseidon? What are you doing?
Yeah, like I don't know how to say, like there you have like natural beauty within Saudi Arabia. I don't get why you can't just accentuate that. You have to why you have to tear it down. I assume it's
It's-
just because of like wars and like are Americans able to travel to Saudi Arabia safely as well?
They are.
As well?
You can go to
Okay.
Dubai. Yeah. The Saudi Arabia is not the issue. It's the countries around Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is allies.
But, you know,
There
they're-
are
they're-
risks.
They're genociding,
Um,
genociding Yemen as well. Is
yeah.
that?
There are risks if you go to Saudi Arabia as an American. You have to abide by their laws, and their laws
Yeah.
are very strict. But it's possible. I have friends that went to Dubai when they were deployed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I never had a chance to. So we got, let's see, got this one right here. It's got this article. So it's from Design Boom. It's like
Mhm.
excavations progress rapidly at Macabre, Saudi Arabia's monumental cube skyscraper. So I'm gonna see if this is any different than what we.
In the future, our cities will be much more
I
than
think that
just
is the
places
exact video we just
Rip.
watched.
Okay. So we have okay. So we have like the footprint of the building.
Yeah.
This okay. So I know it's just the beginning of it. I'm kind of concerned with at least the depth of this like footprint because
Mhm.
like look here. So the size of this building, pull up. Where is it? Where is it? So like when
go
you
back. Yeah.
there.
Right
So
there.
when you build like a building like this, where it's gonna be, you're gonna have to worry about tolerances. You're gonna have to worry about just the sheer size of it. This needs a deep footprint, and from what we can guess, at least when we were speculating, there is most likely gonna be a basement. We assume where they're gonna be housed.
Yeah, because that's the bottom of the cube right there.
So you go here. So this is supposed to be the bottom. This does not feel like deep enough to like accommodate what's
Yeah.
going to be needed to like
Because
have
they
this function.
they need power rooms, they need
HVAC,
infrastructure
they need,
under
water.
the building to pump things up. That was another thing. Water's really hard to move up large
Yeah.
distances because you have to move it up, stop, move it up, stop, move it up.
So
Because
a way to
the-
go about that
the-
would be like each floor would need a mechanical room. Each one there will be a mechanical room somewhere on each one of these floors, like compensating for that. But like this is like an ArcViz version of it. I need to see like the floor plan to make that assumption that this is being thought of in like the most functioning way that someone won't end up dying.
yeah. Or
Is-
like they're not gonna burn out a million water pumps trying to pump water to the top of the building.
Because I know a bit about this just because like one of not my final project, but like one of our like final projects for our school was we had to design a apartment complex, and we had to have like each floor needs a mechanical room that has HVAC, water, heating, and you need to make sure that that is kosher all the way up. But also, it's like, okay, so where is like the unit itself? Is it on the roof, or is it next to the building, or is it underneath the building? Because like where is it drawing everything from? That's like where I want to know. Because like this doesn't give me a lot of confidence. Like if you want it to be, in quotes, the future, I can only assume that's going to be next to the building, hidden in some sort of facade, or in some sort of like a structure that you're going to build to kind of like hide, so it's like pretty.
Yeah.
But as well, those are going to be loud, like, because this is like a massive building. You're going to need multiples of these, and they're going to be very loud. So I'm trying to figure out, like, how is this going to be actually, like, no longer pie in the sky in reality? Like, how are you laying this out? Let me see.
Immersive technology, like, so the key to this, in my opinion, is like they want that middle bit to be the attraction, and everything around it to be the like, mysterious cube in the distance. Let's go check it out.
Yeah, but I'm also looking at like all these other buildings right next to it. I don't know how like accurate that is, but it's just yet the mysterious cube in the distance. But like I was like, okay, but like it also looks like a monolith to your hubris, because like all these people can't afford to go in that fucking cube.
Yeah, no, that's definitely got to be an issue, in my opinion.
Okay, here we have like a visualization of like the centerpiece surrounded by the at least the panels that are explain this, like, sort of like not ARG. What's the word I'm looking for? This like
VR?
alternate, VR, essentially VR. And you can also assume like they would probably also alter the environment within this dome as well to match up with whatever setting that they have it, whatever location they have it set as. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But like I'm also like, okay, how you're gonna have to spend a lot of money on those screens to get like the best quality. Because like we seen what the dome looks like. It looks serviceable, but like when you are up close, because as far as we know, going here, as far as we know, you'll be able to get it right up close to it, and that won't look pretty.
Yeah.
IMO, like unless you're like here.
So yeah, I'll get you a close-up shot of what the sphere looks like.
Oh, thank you. I would appreciate that.
This is what it looks like up close.
Oh, here we go. They're also working on a project for the downtown area. So the Macabre this is a new Maraba. So this whole area is going to be basically gentrified, and the Macabre's going to be right here.
There you go, Ash.
Thank you.
But you can see the issue of getting close.
Yeah, it just starts to like band.
Yeah. So like the further away, the idea is the distance is what is the attractive part. It's an eye catcher.
So I assume this is like basically behind the screens.
No, that is the screens.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, they're individual LEDs.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna... I mean, hopefully they test it before they go through with it, and it's just They go like, oh
Well,
man, this looks terrible. Let's not do
Yeah,
that.
and then let me get the interior because that's the interior does the VR thing. Um,
Oh, okay. Let's see. We finished this video, so
so the interior looks like this because it's a concert venue.
okay. Let me see.
It's going to be like 3/4 of the way down the page.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's a 3/4 of a screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's tiered to make it look the most attractive to your viewpoint.
So you have to be sitting down.
Yeah.
Oh,
And so like the idea is like it's showing you the best viewpoint based on where your seat is. So if you look directly ahead, it looks the best, but as you turn and any direction, you start to distort the visuals.
yeah, I see. I see. What you mean. Like in reality, it's not gonna work. But
Yeah. So like that's the other thing is like the curved surface, you can't really you do 3D modeling, right?
yeah.
You know how hard it is to hide seams on a sphere, right?
Yep. Yep.
And
yep,
so any visual they have is going to be a sphere projected. You're projecting the inside of a sphere. So like you have to hide seams. And that's really
yep. You
hard to
can see him
do.
here.
Yeah, and the biggest issue is the top of the dome is where all the seams would be because it's where
Where it meets.
all the lines meet. Yep. So the visual is always messed up there.
So this wouldn't happen.
No, you couldn't. It's impossible. Because it's curved. It has to follow the curve. You have to plan around the curve. All right, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to use the restroom.
Okay. I'm gonna put up another video. So this one is the cube actually begins construction.
That 20 Empire State Buildings could fit inside it. Now imagine filling that cube with a virtual reality holodome. Well, that's exactly what Saudi Arabia proposed at the start of 2023. And honestly, most people just kind of roll their eyes. Surely this project was impossible. Surely it was just a stunt, right? Well, towards the end of 2024, to everyone's surprise, construction actually got underway. And to this day, the developers could not be more convinced of the completion of this record-breaking building. So let's take a second look at this project and see just how far it's come since we last spoke about it. The Cube is meant to be the main attraction of a brand new downtown in the Saudi capital, Riyadh. The downtown is called New Murabba, while the Cube is called the Mukaab. In case you were wondering, that's literally just the Arabic word for cube, so makes sense. According to those plans from 2023, the Mukaab would be 400 meters tall from top to bottom, which means that it would technically count as a super tall skyscraper, but unlike normal skyscrapers, it would also be 400 meters wide. As we already mentioned, you could fit 20 Empire State Buildings inside the Mukaab and still have some room to spare. This would actually make it the largest building in the world, not the tallest building. We're talking volume here. The Mukaab would smash the current record, which is held by the Boeing Everett factory in Washington. The Mukaab would be such a massive structure that it would actually be 5 times larger than the current record holder. And the size isn't even the most amazing part of this project. Apparently, setting foot inside would be like entering another world.
Okay, we already know this. Plans that. Okay, so extreme challenges. I want to see this.
Beat them? Well, there's a problem though. Or rather, a couple of problems. Since the Mukaab was announced, people have been wondering if this structure is even technically possible. As we said, their CEO, Michael Dyke, called it the most complex engineering project ever. But maybe it's too complicated. Could any of this even actually be done? Well, the second problem here is money. Shocking, right? Even if the project is technically feasible, funding it is another matter entirely. In total, the New Maraba project is expected to cost around $50 billion. But in 2023,
That's
when the project
so
was
low.
announced, Dr. Andreas
I
Krieg, an
expected
expert
more.
in Middle Eastern studies at King's College London, said the finances of all of this are not entirely
Twitter.
secured. It's a very
That's Twitter. That's Twitter.
What?
Twitter was $47 billion, I believe, right?
Is that what Elon bought it for?
44 billion. Yes.
Oh my god. You could
Yeah, I know.
he just
There's
spent a
no
billion
way.
building his honor.
Yeah, it's crazy.
God.
I'm just saying that like that's Twitter tier numbers. There's no way.
Yeah,
nice
Yeah.
British way of putting that.
yeah.
This was later confirmed by Knight Frank, a property company who found that the project had only raised about $3.6 billion, less than 10% of the total cost. And all of that had come from the Saudi Public Investment Fund. It seemed the project wasn't just relying on local funding, meaning a big chunk of the missing capital had to come from foreign investors. With all of this uncertainty around both technical requirements and project funding, a lot of people in 2023 were pretty dismissive of the project. Yeah, sure, a cool idea with lots of stunning renderings, but something that would actually be built one day didn't feel very likely. But then came a bit of a twist. Before we take a closer look at these satellite images, we want to take a quick moment to thank Exter
my God.
for sponsoring Cube. You're looking at the spot in the city of Riyadh where the Muqab is meant to be built. This satellite image was actually taken in February 2023,
Oh my god.
about a week after the project was first announced.
So this is like all fucking cleared out. We can assume like possibly
Yeah, so
there's
this is-
other villagers who had their like basically kicked out of their homes, and this is just like
I-
what's left.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
We assume.
I would. Yeah, we could assume. It is like looking like it's just off of a freeway, so it might just have been an industrial yard that they moved everything out of.
Oh, true.
Because there's it looks like there's also train tracks there.
Right. Yeah.
Other side. On the left.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Derp.
See what I mean? That kind of looks like a train yard.
Yeah. Let's see.
Here's the same spot a few months later. Okay, nothing's really changed. But here it is at the end of September 2024. I don't know about you, but to me, that definitely looks like the foundations for a giant cube. We even got our rulers out, and it looks like the sides of this excavation are exactly 400 meters long. The company behind the New Maraba project officially confirmed it in
Quarter of a
October
mile is
when they
insane.
put out this official press release. To quote them, excavation at the iconic Muqab has reached 86% completion. Apparently, 10 million cubic meters of earth have been excavated so far.
Whoa.
To put that into perspective, if you took all that earth, you'd have enough to fill about a sixth of the cube itself. That work was done by 900 people plus 250 excavators. You can actually see those excavators in another satellite image. Now, I'm not going to count them because my math stinks, but that sure looks like a couple hundred machines to me. The release also mentions a temporary bridge that'll be built over the King Khalid Road. Let's
Okay,
be
so that is
clear
where I'm not-
here.
not
With a
right
project
here,
like
sorry.
this one,
No, you're
digging
fine.
the foundations and building the bridge is the easy part. But it's definitely a start, and as the press release goes on to say, all this work is meant to demonstrate the company's strong commitment to the project. Interestingly, the press release also talks a lot about the project's health and safety. It says that 3 million safe work hours have been logged so far, that progress and safety go hand in hand, and there's even a quote from Michael Dyke about prioritizing the well-being of our workforce. Okay, sure, maybe they're overcompensating for the accusations of human rights violations on other projects. At this point, we can't really confirm or deny whether the Muqab project is treating its workers well or not, but that is certainly what the company is claiming at the very least. This press release doesn't give us an update on the project's date of completion, but luckily, in the same month, October 2024, Dyke gave an interview in
I
Dubai.
will say
We
that
have
is an extremely
2,283
white
days
man
until the 31st of
Yeah.
December
Yeah.
2030, and that will be the point.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I wonder if he maybe. I would venture to guess that he is a venture capitalist that has a lot of money invested in real estate.
Let's see. Oh, he has a LinkedIn. That is in Arabic. I can't read that. Oh, okay, so I don't think I see that one. Let's see. Our executive management. Okay. Several years of experience leading large-scale business enterprise and products across multiple sectors and geographies. That's another Michael Dyke. Cityscape Global. Let's see. Wait for that to load. Okay. Just make sure like nothing pops up. Copy
Very
that.
good.
Here, place and go. Magday is the CEO of New Marab, a PIF company, Saudi Arabia's, that is leading the development of New Maraba, significantly contributing to Riyadh's future development and its transformation into a global modern metropolis. Brings over 37 years of experience leading large-scale business enterprises and projects across multiple sectors and geographies. Experience.
This looks like the only project tied to him.
Yeah, that's very strange.
That is very strange. But you know, I'm not going to assume it. So, have you ever heard that like Chinese people will hire a white guy because they want their token white guy for their company?
Yeah.
Because it's a sign of wealth in that country to have an American employed at your company. So they'll hire a guy whose job is just to be white working at the company.
I wonder as well, it's just because like it would be more appealing to like international investors.
Yes,
as
foreign
well.
investors.
Like
Yes, I would say probably some foreign investors would enjoy talking to Michael over someone else.
Someone else at the company.
Yeah.
So, go back here.
By which the core downtown
2,283 days until the 31st of December 2030, and that will be the point at which the core downtown
is online. The Mukaab sits at the heart of that and will be fully functioning. In other words, Dyke still thinks the project will be ready for Expo 2030. Maybe everyone was wrong to doubt the cube. Maybe it's coming after all.
I mean, personally, I think like you should probably develop the city first before you do the cube.
Yeah, I'm going to be realistic.
There's something we
here.
need to talk about here.
5 years is not a lot of time for a construction project. In where I used to live, there was a construction project that started when I joined the military. It was not finished when I left the military.
Like I want to say as well, like I think like a good comparison would be like the rapid industrial development of like China would be like a good location to like do a comparison and comparison contrast on like the timeline between those two, because they are within the same economic, but like the development is sort of like the same, like where it's underdeveloped compared to like let's say Western.
Yeah, it's the idea of we can do this because we can use the labor force in a different way than Americans can.
Yeah.
Earlier, we saw how the Mukaab project was searching for foreign investors. The Saudi Public Investment Fund had only given them $3.6 billion, less than 10% of the project's total cost. In that recent interview, Dyke was asked about this, and apparently he declined to comment. So, has the project managed to raise that money? Well, the actual answer is probably not. In a totally different interview, but again in October of 2024, Dyke put out
Dracula
a call
from,
for
Bram
investment.
Stoker's Dracula.
We have a finite level
God,
of
he
capital,
does.
so that means
Like
we
old
must
Dracula.
attract partners.
Yeah.
In other words, they're definitely still looking for money. And that kind of makes you wonder, why is he so confident that the cube will be finished when they're still looking for ways to fund it? Well, we have a theory. But before we tell you what it is, If you're enjoying this video and you want
I
to see
will-
similar
I'm
content,
gonna fucking
crash out.
Kermit. Come on, buddy.
Kermit. It's crazy.
shall we say? On the one hand, he's telling everyone who will listen that the project is on course for completion, but at the same time, he's searching for investment. So what's actually going on here? Well, how about this for a theory? Maybe Dyke said the project is on course to be finished in 2030, not because he thinks that that will actually happen, but because he knows that this kind of confidence is needed to convince other
yeah.
companies to invest. At the end of the day, that's just how the game is played. No one would pump their money into a project that's still surrounded by so much uncertainty.
dragon.
They're much
I
more
saw
likely
two
to invest in
dragons.
something that's on course
I
for
can't,
success.
man.
They literally announced that construction had started in the
No,
exact same month that Dyke
you
put
know
out
the
that
funnest fucking thing? If you could like rent that out and then you make it like D&D themed and you have like,
Oh my
you have, like, a
God.
tabletop game at the very top of the tower, that would be
Yeah.
amazing.
You get to experience the mega dungeon.
Yes.
all for investors.
Be
In other
so
words,
good.
they're trying everything they can to convince people that this project is legitimate. And while that's a fairly normal tactic, it doesn't reveal much about whether it'll actually be done by 2030. When it comes to Saudi megaprojects, this is actually a pretty familiar story. 2 years ago, we posted a video a lot like this one when construction first started on The Line. They excavated a massive piece of land 170 kilometers long, and at the same time, officials were traveling the world trying to drum up investment.
No,
Well, apparently
that's the wild thing is that they excavated that much, but they are literally only be able to like do like this little bit right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there was no reason for you to excavate the whole fucking thing. You could have gone as you went along.
Yeah, like
To save money and
1.4% of
resources.
the line
Yeah, it's
is done.
crazy.
Will be done by 2030.
haven't had much luck. And there are rumors now that the line will be reduced to roughly 2%
Yeah.
of the planned original length.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, we don't think that money is the determining factor when it comes to whether the Mukaab gets completed by 2030. There are still some major technological hurdles that the project needs to overcome. And with less than 6 years on the clock, time is ticking. In particular, that giant holographic dome. Dyke has admitted the technology today exists, but not at the scale that we're going to be deploying it. There are things like the hologram fans, but we're not sure if that technology actually does exist in the style of those renders shared in 2023. But
No, it's
okay,
not.
instead of giant holograms, maybe the dome could
Yeah.
do...
You know, but he's basically going over what we talked about.
I know, it's
Like,
crazy.
crazy. Okay, this is like what will happen next because we
Mean
already
for the
talked about
cube.
that.
Well, while researching all of this, we came across, you guessed it, yet another interview with Dyke. This one was in November of 2024, about a month after all the others. In this interview, he spoke about Phase 1 of the project, which is an interesting phrase that he hasn't used anywhere else. More specifically, he said Phase 1 will be completed by 2030, but there will still be room to add up. So maybe this is our
No,
biggest
so
clue
they're
yet about the
basically
future
doing
of the
the
Mukaab.
bait and
Maybe a
switch.
phase
Yeah, like, well, what is phase 1? I assume phase 1 is most likely the city itself.
Yeah.
Then the macabre.
I'm imagining that, like, so if we were to be realistic about this project, they are going to build this and then abandon the tall part.
Oh, okay. So if they may just build like
Yeah, it just might
essentially
be
like
a-
a garden.
Yeah, an upgraded part of the city. Like, remember, like, did you know that Mount Rushmore was supposed to be full statues?
Yep. Yep.
Same concept. Start with a big idea, pull it back when based on money.
Phase 1 version of the project will be built by 2030.
Like if it says like this right here, this is like essentially what the project is gonna be. Just like the roof, but like now on the ground. Like that
Yeah.
could possibly be what they mean by phase 1.
Yep.
Just
Also,
in
what
time
is
for
that
work.
like floating solar panels? Were those like floating sky solar panels? Kites?
No, it looks like they're like layered. At least right here, like they're like a wafer.
Yeah, but that's so weird, man. This is such
Yeah.
a weird project.
Like this a lot of it just screams like ArcViz, like just vignette conceptual stuff, like nothing like
Mhm.
concrete.
This was supposed to stay as a meet. A lot of this seems like stuff that should have stayed as like a pitching meeting
Yeah.
that got that like some overzealous like um investment like
Mhm.
venture capitalist was like, we should just put these on the internet.
It's like again, it's a complete aside. It's like when in oh fuck, what was it? Who made Overwatch? I'm drawing a blank.
Blizzard.
Blizzard. It's like when the Blizzard employees made their like tier, like their like calculation of like the most diverse character as like an internal thing, and some venture capital, like someone with it, like some higher up person in the company with it. Oh, this is a great fucking idea.
But that's insane.
No, like you know about that? The
I do. I just
yeah.
I didn't know that it was
it was
I
like an
didn't know
it was
some-
an internal thing done by like the employees that their bosses found out about and just
and they're like,
ran
we're
with.
putting this out as like as a visual aid.
Yes. They had I don't know if it's
Infographic, that's the word I was looking for.
I don't know if it's still available, but they had like a presentation on it at GDC. Like there was on the GDC website, they had like a full fucking video talking about this.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know
That's
about
pretty
it
neat.
until like much later when like people were like, hey, do you guys know that this happened? And it's kind of like with like the Sweet Baby Inc. thing where something happens and people go back to like GDC talk. It's like, oh hey, it was here the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
Will be built by 2030, just in time for that World Expo we mentioned, but with Phase 2 not completed until later. For example, maybe they'll build the exterior of the cube, but not the holographic.
No,
See, that's the thing, is the exterior needs to
it needs
the
to match up with the
interior
interior,
needs
yeah.
the interior is the important part.
It's like how to say this? There's like you can phase it, but the issue is that if you phase it, you have to deal with the consequences of not it not being there, and
construction. Well, also there's construction constraints if there's a giant cube around what you're building.
It's like also
you can't necessarily put the giant cranes on the inside of the giant cube.
Yeah, because that shit's gonna be locked off. Like also because the dome's not gonna be there, you're gonna be able to see basically the scaffolding and structure of the interior cube because that dome isn't there. So it's gonna look really fucking ugly. So you could I could only assume the Phase 1, if they are gonna build anything substantial, it'll be that interior tower. Will be the first thing being built.
And then once the dome technology is perfected, the dome.
Yeah, then the dome. But also, with that tower, you now have to go like, okay, how's that little tower in the middle can be protected from the elements?
Yeah.
Like the wear and tear, because it's going to need to be...
Yeah. And
it's going to be...
And so my understanding is when you phase out a project, it usually results in the project taking a completely different direction when one of the phases change. When so like if the interior tower has to change to an exterior kind of like structure and it ruins the like beautification of it, they will just make it an outside structure.
Yeah. Like this doesn't seem like it. There's a possibility that'll happen. I mean, like they could just make it like a small building next to it eventually that has the dome, like a small tiny dome in it. But like
I think the dome is probably the biggest thing that's going to get rolled back. I think that the cube is just going to be a giant eyesore that is going to have a really fancy mall on the inside.
It's going to be it could go the way of the Eiffel Tower where it started out as an eyesore and no longer became an eyesore, or it's just going to be built and be a giant eyesore.
Yeah. I'm voting on the Sphere-esque eyesore.
On the inside, that would still be a stunning landmark. At the end of 2030, I shall take great pleasure watching the sun go down, standing on the roof of the Mukaab, feeling pretty good about what's under.
So he's saying Phase 1 does involve the Mukaab, at least the envelope being built, but like that does not Like,
That
okay,
seems
let me
dumb.
give you an
Unless
example.
unless they're going to construct it in such a way that they can build cranes into the inside of the cube, I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah. Like, let me give an example. Like, my last, like, final project was basically, like, a homeless shelter that was basically not built, but, like, utilizing a parking garage. I originally had it set to where, like, okay, it was all going to be built upon it. But then it later came into, I was going to phase it. So, like, how do I describe it? What goes from building everything at once to phasing is a very, very different like way of looking at it. You have to make sure that there's benefits to phasing, there's benefits to building all at once, but with phasing you have to know that there is going to be changes that happen within the structure that you need to make sure that it is kosher within the structure. Like, the thing they're going to have to do is they're going to have to make sure that everything they use is going to be easily placed within the building, because, like, if they're going to build the exterior, they need to have, like, this huge like a porous opening in it to, like, get everything else in, or it needs to be completely and utterly empty and they have to bring stuff in and build inside of it. But it's also going to cause issues because then there's going to be dirt, there's going to be nails, there's going to be like debris that gets left behind from stuff being built.
Not
It's
the
like-
debris.
Yeah, like, one of the things with it, like, the final project is, like, okay, I was thinking of, like, basically cutting into the parking structure so I can better slot residential pieces into it. But the architect said, like, okay, but you have to also worry about debris. So that's like the getting into the lungs of the people who made nearby.
Yes.
So it's like, okay,
Speaking of bad phasing, do we want to move on to Dubai? 'Cause
Yes,
The
yes.
fact that they failed at the phasing is why the city's such a
so let me
literal,
finish up this
a
video and
physical
then
shit show.
we'll-
Sorry.
No, you're fine. But let's
Off
finish
beat.
up this and then we'll move on.
Remember the Boeing Everett factory, the current record holder for the largest building in the world? Well, that was built in stages too. In 1967, it was constructed at less than half of its current size. Then, in 1979, the project was expanded, and again in 1990. In other words, you don't always need to build a project in one go. In 2034, Saudi Arabia will actually host the FIFA World Cup, and one of the new stadiums will be constructed in New Murabba. So maybe that's another target to aim for? Phase 1 completed for Expo 2030, and Phase 2 completed for the 2034 World Cup. Dyke has
I think
also
okay.
said technologies develop so rapidly every day, we need to leave room for our future generation. Just because something doesn't look possible now.
Okay, that's fine. His example of this is really good, but the problem is that this is being built.
Yeah,
This is
it
like
was
single
built
story.
forward.
This is single story.
Yeah, it was forward thinking as well. They built with the plans to build more.
Yeah, but the problem is, like, this initial project has been conceptualized as a whole piece. Like,
Yeah.
they're not thinking of this as, like, it's going to be built upon itself. So, like, if that is the case, that is that the plan they're turning to, we now need a new version of it that is phased. You can't show me the final thing. You need to show the phases of how you're going to go about it.
Yeah, and that's why, like, people are like, I don't want to invest in this.
Yeah.
Okay, so now on to the Dubai.
So let me see. So which one did we want to video did we want to start with? This one or
Dubai is an absolute mess is probably a good start.
all right. Do we want to need to take like a break, use the bathroom or anything?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Day
Are
in
you good?
Dubai. I think I'll just walk down to the store really fast. Ah.
Anywhere that you tell me.
Okay, I'm just gonna
Oh, I didn't know about the music. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
How
Now, when I say Dubai, everyone knows what I'm talking about. It's the world's tallest city, home of the Burj Khalifa, the tallest structure ever made, period. The booming Middle Eastern oil city with palm tree condo islands off its coast. It's new, it's trendy, it's got Lamborghini driving cops, and it's ready to get all of your 7-figure income tourist dollars in style. And what's crazy is that none of this stuff even existed 40 years ago. The first skyscraper built here was the Dubai World Trade Center in 1979, and only 6 buildings over 75 meters high were built before 1998. But in the 2000s, Dubai took off, building 73 brand new buildings above 200 meters in height, 18 of which are over 300 meters in height, making it the tallest skyline in the world. No city has built so tall in such little time. And it shows. Dubai is not so much a major city as it is the world's tallest Florida suburb. I mean, look at this. Almost all of Dubai's urban area, even its massive skyscrapers and its cultural attractions, are cut up and separated by expressways into these large residential and mall-filled superblock developments. Each one of these has its own proprietary street system that rarely conforms to a simple grid to continue into the next megablock, and all the skyscrapers are basically thrown alongside the main highway or in the cordoned off empty land between the highway and the back end of Dubai Creek. It's as if everyone wanted to build everything all at once here, and Dubai just had to quickly find a place where everyone could build what they wanted to build. And that's more...
I see that he kind of glossed over it, but I saw the Palm Islands.
Yes.
So I'm gonna grab that. Yeah, pop up here. Go. So it's this right here. So this is 3 artificial archipelagos, but they only built 1. I believe you told me.
Yes.
As the World Islands, Palm is a real estate developer. The creation of the islands began in 2001. In 2006, 2007, the islands have significantly impacted ocean, sediment, and wildlife in the surrounding area. So it's damaged the ecosystem. This like pretty little thing that they wanted to build.
Yeah, well, again, because they had to. What they did is they loaded up a bunch of trucks that throw sand for industrial mining and threw them into the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it just turned into a big waste. Oh, I guess they did build more than just the one.
Oh, okay. It looks like they okay.
But yeah, they're condos. They're for condos.
It looks so I'm not gonna. It looks so lifeless.
Yeah.
It looks like I'm like fucking Detroit after like the collapse of the motor industry. Not gonna lie. Yeah, cancel project. Dubai Waterfront was expected to become the largest waterfront. Okay, so this one got canceled. The Dubai Waterfront. Viewers was a planned artificial archipelago. So, okay. So that go back here.
More or less what happened. Since just 1990, the city has grown from a city of 500,000 to a city of 3.4 million. People wanted to make some suburban villas in their own quiet neighborhoods, and they got whole superblocks to do it. Some universities wanted to move in, and they watered and landscaped a random patch of desert so large it makes Versailles look like a townhouse. And the skyscrapers, well, they were just lined up right up next to each other, because that's where they fit. And demand was so great in Dubai that developers would do it. What's resulted is a terrible, inefficient, unconnected mess of land use, with buildings, homes, malls, parks, your morning jogging track, all separated by an overbearing grid of massive highways. Without a car in Dubai...
Yeah, this seems like a failure for like
urban planning.
Urban plan. Thank you. Like how do I say this?
This is a city skylines where it's like, oh no, my schools are near my waste management plant.
Oh my god. It's like, oh no, I put the dog food plant next to the water treatment plant, and now it's going downwind towards the hospital, and everyone's throwing up because it smells awful.
Every one of these areas is completely inaccessible, separated by twisting walls of Hot Wheels tracks, trying desperately to tie it all together. What's resulted is a place that isn't a city in the traditional sense, where the skyscrapers of New York's Midtown or Hong Kong's Central District are interspersed with the rest of the city, surrounded by shops and restaurants and actual people. Instead, Dubai's skyscraper areas look like a comically tall version of the Auto Mall or the office park in the suburb next to you. You know, the one where you can see it from the highway, but you never actually see anyone going there? Yeah, that's functionally how Dubai operates. You only go here because there's nowhere else to go. There's nothing inherently better about shopping or living at this highway exit than any other, which means there's no reason to shop or live here once the next office park opens up a mile down. In a way,
did it basically are create like ghost towns when they build like a new development?
Mm-hmm. It's a city built off of the idea of trends.
Oh my god.
Dubai is only popular because
it's a city. A city is supposed to be an ecosystem for the people that live within it, and it's supposed to be like a benefit the people that live within it. That's how it's supposed to function.
Popular. In a city that isn't doubling its population every 10 years, all of these areas will suffer from this cordoned off patchwork approach to city growth. None of these areas have any inherent geographic advantage over another, and none of these sections are taking advantage of the area's natural features or even building off of existing attractions around them. Only sheer growth is stopping this entire stretch from becoming South Central LA, or these parks from becoming the seedy recreation grounds on the far side of FDR Drive. Even the skyscrapers themselves largely function as independent, self-contained worlds of their own, without any interaction with the skyscrapers or even the city around them. Towers like the Burj Khalifa, the Burj Al Arab, and Emirates Towers have their own shopping centers and dining options, and all of these skyscrapers have their own parking garages, so you never have to interact with any other building in person the whole time you're there. Even in the highest density example of Dubai's skyscrapers, in the marina, on the streets you're only presented with parking garages. These streets are dead!
Wow.
This isn't a city, this is a series of attractions you drive to from the suburbs. It's the tallest city in the world. Until it's not cool anymore, at which point people will realize they can just keep driving right on past it. All the work that's gone into building the world's tallest skyline will only leave us with a towering row of tombstones on the side of the road. But Dubai didn't just spring up out of nowhere. Long before this modern expansion, Dubai was a much smaller Persian Gulf port city at the edge of regional empires. The Umayyad dynasty in the 7th century first opened the area that is now the United Arab Emirates to seabound trade routes, and by the late 16th century, Venetian traders were heralding Dubai as one of the top pearl-producing areas on the Arabian coast. After breaking free from Abu Dhabi in 1833, Dubai joined the other emirates in seeking the protection of the British Empire, becoming an official protectorate in 1892, while developing its foreign trade with a full tax exemption for foreign traders in 1894. The invention of artificial pearls in the Great Depression devastated the old pearl industry, but the port of Dubai held on as a re-export hub in the region until the oil boom hit in 1966. And it's that commercial history that's made the old neighborhoods of Deira and Bur Dubai into the vibrant city center this place so desperately needs. Anchored at the mouth of Dubai Creek, these neighborhoods are characterized by small, walkable medieval roads and alleyways, and shops and storefronts on almost every first floor you walk past. This is the home of Dubai's famous covered marketplaces like the superblock-sized Spice Souk, the harborside Bur Dubai Souk, and the famous Gold Souk, with over 300 merchants believed to hold over 10 tons of gold at any given time, at some of the most competitive prices in the world. The streets are lined with rows of distinct khaki-colored balconies, while the narrow streets provide shade for pedestrians from the hot desert sun. This isn't a city that only looks good as a skyline a mile away. This is a city that looks good when you're there, in person. Unlike a parking garage skyscraper plucked out of downtown LA, these neighborhoods are a unique creation and a unique experience of Dubai that you can't just copy and build anywhere else. Yeah, these neighborhoods are small, and they don't get very far before the highways and the parking garages take over, but in a city as haphazard and famously skyscraper-laden as Dubai, it's nice to see a place where you just might get out of your car and find an actual city to explore. Maybe if the rest of Dubai had more than just 20 years to build itself up out of the desert, we might have seen more of this integrated approach spread further down along the coast. And in fact, that's more or less the approach taken by the next emirate north of Dubai, in Sharjah. See, when Sharjah found itself being enveloped into the growing Dubai suburbs, they took the opportunity to expand the high-density, mixed-use core of their old city in almost every direction they could.
I'm just watching, like, man, this is fucking interesting. So he's basically saying, like, hey, there is like life within the city, but it's not in the what is being touted as the places people should visit. It's happening in the places where people actually live.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being a skyscraper-laden rich people attraction, Sharjah wanted to become an Islamic cultural destination.
Sorry, I'm just
And the
fascinated
next thing you
by
know,
it.
this whole area is largely walkable with plenty of parks anchoring countless mosques and important museums. If we take a look at its de facto city center around Rolla Square Park, we see a major city attraction that has direct pedestrian access from all the neighborhoods around it. And reflecting this pedestrian access is a constant line of first-floor shops and restaurants extending deep into the neighborhoods adjacent to this easily identifiable local landmark. In fact, we can find first-floor commercial development in even some of the furthest neighborhoods in this greater downtown area. Compared to Dubai's parking garages, it almost looks like Sharjah came up with a rule that every other building needs to pack its first floor with local hawkers and peddlers. Even the city's attempts at a marina-style skyscraper district has an almost chaotic smattering of shops that contrast wildly with the sandstone monoliths towering above them. But this is just what a normal city is supposed to do: provide easy access to goods and services to its high concentration of residents, wherever they live. Sharjah never set out to be a pristine, postcard-perfect city for the global elite, so it's largely let supply and demand actually go to work for its downtown citizens. The result of this is an impressive stretch of actual city development, with unique features and distinctive attractions, extending almost all the way up the Emirates coast. But Sharjah's had to ad-lib this massive expansion of development right alongside Dubai's skyrocketing growth, which has massively increased demand for suburban residences in the area. Without enough time to flesh out all of its blocks with the high-density urban buildings it has planned, and still working on a rapid transit rail system to bring this high-density city together, Sharjah's urban space has become littered with impromptu open-air parking lots. An inordinate amount of this new urban
it's
population...
becoming a asphalt jungle. The issue is like the amount of walkable space is being dwarfed by the amount of space for a car, which is always a city's issue. The more people you put in it, the harder it is to get to places, the more car space you need, which pushes people even further out. It's why 15-minute cities are important. They're designed to allow growth without sacrificing space to the asphalt gods.
Yeah, it's a city becomes miserable when it's just like cars, and like no people populate and no greenery. Like even in parking lots, there is like a requirement you need a specific amount of like greenery / shade in a parking lot. Like there is a percentage you need, and it's just like this looks miserable. Like this right here, like I see no trees, I see no shade. There's like these buildings. There's like shade from like cast shadows. But if the sun's right above, there's nothing for you to stand underneath over here. Like your car's gonna bake like an oven.
Has to drive cars to go to work in Dubai or Sharjah's inland industrial parks. While in the long run, better mass transit options and better integrated jobs in these neighborhoods will give this area an edge over Dubai, the decision to do away with mass lines of parking garages has essentially given way to patches of car-squatted lots in between these now out-of-place, cramped city-style apartment buildings. This is especially apparent in the northern end of the city, where the urban development is only just getting on.
Awful! Holy shit!
That's so bad. That's just poor planning.
This looks like this looks like a futuristic hellscape almost.
Yeah. Well, the issue is it looks like it's in mid-construction.
Yes.
But it's not. Those are parking lots because they didn't plan for anything, so they don't have any vertical parking lots.
Which is like the vertical parking lots would be like, there's like a lot of them are kind of not great, but like this much open air parking is awful. Like there's there's no green. There's no green. I don't see any trees.
Yeah. You're also killing
Right
your
here,
ability
a little
to grow as a city because you've presupposed that this space is for parking, and it's really, really hard to pry that away from people.
Yeah, like zoning laws. If you already have it like preset for zoning, like the zone for parking, it is very expensive to rezone parking.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is expensive and annoying. You have to go deal with bureaucrats.
They have to park somewhere else, and while they're parking somewhere else, you have to plan out where they're going to park in the future.
Yeah. I mean, like some buildings, like you have to like, let's say like if you're gonna build like right here, you have to like account for okay, what plot of land is usable by me? What plot of land do I need to accommodate for like people are gonna park there? What's my occupancy for my building gonna be? Okay, if its occupancy is gonna be this, I need to make sure I have these many parking spaces.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I imagine they've overcorrected and there's way more parking than there is requirements for the occupancy for these buildings.
Yes. You can tell it just because like you can see how sparsely there's cars here. Like there's no reason. Like also like this right here, like what is this connected to? Like the color of the roads like just fades away as well, and it just like it leads you into like a parking nightmare.
Yeah,
like these are the main roads right here, and like what's this right here? What is this right here? Where is this going? What am I trying to get to? That's right here. Where's the main road connecting these?
Exactly, and I imagine there's an increase in accidents in these parking lots because people use them as roads.
Yeah.
Underway. You have these tight-packed, high-density parcels of apartment buildings.
Holy shit!
That is terrible. Like it looks like it's not under. It's like look. Let me go back. It's like there's construction happening here. Like what is this?
No, that's a development that needs to happen.
Like
I'll be right back.
There's right here. Okay.
Strewn out in the desert.
Can you still hear? Or do you need me to pause?
I can still hear.
Okay.
Accessible only by crossing large stretches of construction lot sand.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. Like yeah, there's just so much construction.
It's
a lot.
Unsettling and bizarre. And none of these buildings seem to be congregating towards a main road or a central area, but they're built so confidently, like they're one day going to be a high-value property on a trendy North Sharjah street.
Yeah, they look like they're just like plopped down. Like these don't look like they're like planned.
Some of them have brick sidewalks and storefronts all ready to go, right up against a 1-block radius of dust and no man's land. This is amazing. It looks like the secret backlot where they keep all the decommissioned Embassy Suites buildings for spare parts. It looks like Disney World built an elaborate but unconvincing city backdrop for you when you get off of an animatronic ride. Just the sheer confidence of these interlocking urban...
It reminds me of like, okay, so I need to, it reminds me of like playing City Skylines, and you're putting down like onesie twosie buildings to remind yourself to build a district.
Oh my god. It does. It's like, oh yeah, I know it's completely be here, and then I'll come back later, and then I'll build stuff around it.
And then you never do, and it just ends up becoming parking.
Growth buildings strewn across the dust makes northern Sharjah feel like a post-apocalyptic ghost town, slowly being re-inhabited by a colony of car-owning
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
Outskirts of Vegas.
I've never been to Vegas.
So the further away you get from the strip, the less dense everything becomes. And so as you get to the outskirts, you start just getting into desert. So like places are just adjacent to the empty desert.
Now like I'm trying to like pull from my memory of like Reno. Reno isn't like that. It's still like very dense. It's like there when you get away from Reno, there is a downtown that has like purposely
Yeah,
built for like
but
people.
this is what I'm saying is like, so there are spots in Vegas where there's just like lots that were buildings that are no longer buildings that now just are empty. Same kind of vibe here, like fancy buildings all around, just empty lot that used to be a historical building.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like there's this collective understanding that there's supposed to be more to this picture, that at some point in the timeline this will have all made sense as a whole. But for now, the sheer speed in which Chargers had to build up its vision of a grand Romanesque city has led to an amazing amount of gaps in the wasteland that everyone's so sure will one day become its midtown. Essentially, no matter what plan you follow, no part of the Dubai area has been able to really turn into a large-scale world city in the 20 years it's had to develop. Dubai has had to turn from a small pearl diving port to a booming international hub of luxury faster than almost any urban area on Earth. Local planners have tried almost every approach, from Florida-style suburban homestead developments and offshore palm tree archipelagos, self-contained high-density skyscrapers, to a push to engineer mass mixed-use walkable city neighborhoods. The only thing that these experiments have shown is that nothing can make a contiguous city out of a 5.6 million person region in just 20 years' time. Just out of sheer necessity, the vast majority of this area is taken up by self-contained, standalone developments to soak up the demand to live in Dubai, the hot new city. It's this breakneck speed of development that's made it difficult to connect any of these separate areas into any one coherent city. It's going to take time for this massive new urban area to figure out how it's going to come together as a whole. Once the 91% of its non-Arabian population settles in to stay and looks to find work and a new life in a non-rapidly expanding city, how will they discover the experience of day-to-day living in each of the area's many developments and expansions? Only time will tell how these areas will interact with each other and finally allow a coherent city to emerge from this scattered, sprawling boomtown. And when that time comes, the parts of the Dubai area that have worked to plan ahead might find themselves with a city ready to carry on for another 1,000 years. Hopefully by then, they'll have filled in a few more of their parking lots.
I think like another issue, like I don't know if you'll address, is like when you plan this poorly for urban development, it's gonna cost even more money to fix. Like
Yeah, because
if
you
there
have to
was
tear down
nothing-
buildings to move them, to fix them.
Yeah, like this should have been like thought of ahead of time. Like there's no reason this should have like gone this bad.
She told me it's just the high-rise bar. This is just a show. The northern side is where you can park. well, this is just a show. Ooh, maybe that's 'cause it's gridlock. And parking's brand new this side.
Oh shit, that's interesting.
Maybe the building has
What?
transit.
No, he showed like a gridlock, the gridlock, and then he just like, let me go back. Okay, back. Okay, so I'll meet this. So he's shown like it's along a grid. You can see as he's moving.
Uh-huh.
You can see. Because usually when you build a city, you don't want to be like along a grid. You kind of want to like it needs the flow isn't the right word.
I need you to understand, I grew up in Utah. Everything is on a grid. It is the most gridded out city I've ever lived in. It is insane. Why
Okay, so-
don't you want everything on a grid?
Okay, so this is the rest of this is a song. I appreciate, buddy, but like
I understand. Sorry, brain. Because if you build it on a grid, any issue somewhere on the grid will affect the rest of the grid.
Yes.
Right?
yes.
Got it. Cool. That makes
It's
sense.
kind of like if you ever been to like England, a lot of like city like towns are built around the pubs in that area, essentially. Like it's built around like the where people like commingle the most. That's what I remember being described to me. And it's like you start with like the most important part and you branch out from there. The problem with like, at least with to Dubai, it's like there's no piece like that they considered like the most important that like they need to center it around. Like the most important like community, like the citizenry need to focus on and then build out from there. It's just like it's trying to like put like a round peg in a square hole, and they're trying to like figure out what they're doing wrong, but they like don't realize like them making it for other people to make it like the most greatest biggest city ever is like damaging the city as well. It's like you need to focus on the citizenry, and other people will come because the citizenry are being taken care of within that city, essentially.
Yeah.
The city is focused on them, and when other people see that the city is focused on people that live there, they want to be a part of that.
That's crazy.
Essentially.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna look at the poop trucks.
Poop trucks, let's go!
So I think this Why Dubai has poop truck traffic jam, and then we have like I think we watch this one first and then the other one, I believe. Oh my god. No.
The Burj Khalifa is a marvel of engineering, and thanks to its mammoth height, it almost mimics a small city. The whole building speaks of the structural and architectural excellence involved in its creation, but it faces a ridiculous issue. The issue is none other than poop. Yes, poop. A few years ago, a video surfaced on YouTube depicting a large number of trucks carrying the human waste of Dubai. These trucks were also carrying human waste collected from the large building, the Burj Khalifa itself, and other major centers. To have a better understanding of the problem, let us first try to understand how Dubai was built. Each and every project in Dubai is sponsored by its government. To reduce the economic dependency on oil and gas revenues, Dubai's stakeholders targeted the tourism industry. By targeting tourism, Dubai attracts a lot of business from all around the globe. Dubai's tax policies are highly welcoming, as there are no income or sales taxes. Since the tax revenues is not surplus, any new project in Dubai is based upon debt, construction, advertisement, and running cost of any project in Dubai, including the Burj Khalifa, accumulates a lot of debt, and the overall debt of Dubai is more than the GDP. Countries like the US have a much higher debt to GDP ratio as well, but unlike Dubai, they have strong and constant sources of income via taxation. Dubai relies on tourism fees and foreign investments, which are directly linked to how many eyeballs the city manages to gather. This situation renders Dubai economy to be highly volatile, and also got it immensely affected by the financial crisis of 2008, which caused most of the state banks to almost collapse. To avoid bankruptcy, Dubai went on to get a $20 billion bailout from the central bank of Abu Dhabi. Still, that was not the end of the story, as they needed to gather more income to be completely out of those miserable circumstances. The ruler of Dubai, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, pledged to not use the revenue generated via taxes to pay off debt. So, they focused on the completion of the Burj Khalifa, because there was no second opinion on how big of a tourist attraction it would be. Now we are starting to get to our problem. When the building was underway, the decision of not building a sewage system was taken because it was certainly not a profit statement. As the sewage system was not directly adding to the revenue, it was ditched. But here's the thing to understand. The whole discussion does not mean that the Burj has no sewage system, but it stands for the fact that this building's sewage system is not directly attached to the city's main sewers. Reason being that the city's sewers and sewage facilities lacked capacity and cannot hold it for a building that would be such a huge source of influx. The focus at the time was just to get done with the project and start generating revenue, because that was the need of the hour. Spending millions of dollars and time on linking the system to the mains didn't sound like a great deal to the stakeholders of both the Burj and the city. They went with the conclusion that for a short period, trucking the waste out of the building to any landfill site would be cheaper.
No, this is a fucking what? Who thought this was a good idea? Did they forget how much fucking human waste there is?
Yeah, no, again, any liquid is going to weigh a fuck ton and take up a absurd amount of space.
Yeah, like this like this feels like
Basically,
fucking nepotism. I'm not gonna lie.
Basically, you turned every truck into a septic tank that fills up overnight. That's crazy.
But when the Burj went up and running it produced way more waste than expected, courtesy of its holding capacity of 35,000 people, the Burj Khalifa produces 7 tons of poop every day.
Oh my
Double
God.
that with the wastewater. You would need an average vacuum truck each day, or a larger one every other day. Replicate that across the city, and that's why you have lines of trucks ferrying the stuff away daily. Sometimes the truck has to remain in the queue for more than 24 hours before it gets a chance to dump the waste. With time, as the city continues to progress in terms of construction, but unlikely all newer buildings met the same fate, Dubai's main concern was to still continue being the attraction it was. The trucking system was pretty much getting their job done, but then they started to focus upon building an effective sewerage system because it was giving birth to a lot of health issues. Again, these were just minor investments to deal with public concerns. It took them years to make a final decision on the sewerage fiasco.
This is a city
As in
skyline
27
approach to building
Yeah.
infrastructure. Oh no, I forgot the thing. Allow me to build the thing because now the school is angry that it smells like poop.
They decided to spend $8 billion for building an
Very
effective sewerage
funny
system.
because it's
They
like
call this project Development of the Century, and it certainly is because it is the most
So fucking
advanced sewage
true.
system
Oh, that's it. Okay, so you have like roads. Okay.
mhm.
in the entire world. The management of wastewater will still also enhance the production to millions of liters of irrigation-friendly water. Everything was good until 2019 when the world got
So they're
exposed to
doing.
COVID-19.
So what they're doing is, then this happens in Vegas. They're doing gray water. Gray water is where they turn wastewater into agricultural water.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not gonna lie.
It happens. Unfortunately, you can't in deserts. You can't. You have to use the liquids that are available. And ag is a giant drain on it water resources, and it's water you can't or you won't be drinking. So why use drinking water for ag if you produce wastewater?
Such
19, and
cheeks.
every development project got sabotaged. Dubai's new sewage system is still in its initial stages, and for it to see a completion of a lot of work, time and finances are required. The new system is projected to see completion in 2025, and fortunately,
this year.
so it'll be able to last well past 2050, and will eliminate most of the tankers. The Burj itself is an iconic landmark, and for obvious reasons. Also a favorite among any property buyers and tenants. Any apartment higher than the 20th floor in the UAE can give you some amazing views. From jacuzzis to valet parking, there isn't any.
You know, I don't. As someone who has a fear of heights, I do not care about living in a skyscraper.
Oh yeah, no, that seems awful.
Anonymity that the
I
Burj
mean, like, I went on the Eiffel Tower. I have a fear of heights. That was not fun. And the
figured.
London Eye, which, you know, has a glass floor.
Yeah, I did the London Eye too. It wasn't fun. My wife hated it.
Yeah, I was basically, like, just holding my brother's hand the whole time and closed my eyes.
Yeah.
Burj does not offer. And soon, with a purposely designed sewer system, everything will become smoother than ever.
Oh,
Do let us know
fun
what you feel
fact,
about
gray water is also used for fountains. So fountains can sometimes, when it gets warm, smell like shit.
In Vegas?
Yeah,
Oh, God.
yeah.
No. I don't want to go to Vegas.
Such a mesmerizing
Why do you
city,
go to Vegas?
lacking a basic sewering system. In the
Guys,
comments down
you
below.
can make money
If you like the
here,
video, do
apparently.
give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.
Okay, and then we have the busted, or you had a better explanation. It's not exactly busted.
Yeah, it's basically explaining what the guy did at the end, where they've. I didn't know that you grabbed a video that explained the infrastructure project. Basically, this is him just reframing that these poop trucks are temporary. It's a little bit of clickbait, so it's like, I've debunked the poop trucks and kind of thing. I think it's worth a watch just because it's a little bit more of a condensed version of what the other guy said.
This is Dubai's conga line of poo from 2009. The viral video, along with some lazy. This is Dubai's conga line of poo from 2009. The viral video, along with some lazy reporting, perpetuated a myth that the Burj Khalifa has no sewage system due to budget issues during the financial crisis.
I mean, we found out. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Truth is actually stranger, and ends in some controversy. Because it wasn't the Burj Khalifa that didn't have sewer infrastructure, it was most of the buildings in Dubai.
Oh, it was including most of the buildings in Dubai, not just the Burj Khalifa.
This daily line of 4,000 septic trucks had collected human waste to deliver to the Al Awaia sewage treatment plant. At the time, it was Dubai's only and severely overloaded treatment plant. The trucks would sometimes wait in line for 24 hours to unload before starting all over again. But that's where the truth of the myth ends, because the Japanese conglomerate Hitachi was contracted to design and build a membrane bioreactor for the Burj Khalifa when it opened. It recycles 2,000 cubic.
I believe that other gentleman says that's not going to be completed to this year.
Yeah.
So so this
meters of the building's wastewater per day to replenish the 30-acre fountains as well as irrigate the surrounding green spaces. And Dubai has since deployed more MBRs and significantly upgraded its sewage infrastructure. But the controversy is that the sewage infrastructure was strained by the hundreds of thousands of migrant workers Dubai needed for
this is
its
why
mega
I
projects.
Mm.
Many of them suffered inhumane working conditions. More on that in the next video.
Oh, we see.
So Dubai, because of who owns it, is built on slave labor, similar to how Kuwaiti did their project. It's an issue of these people were brought in with they were brought in and their passports were taken.
Oh, like what happened in fucking Qatar.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Qatar, not Kuwait. My bad. So I will pull up an article that explains that. Dubai construction workers.
Oh man, Sunny V2 did a video on the catastrophic failure of Dubai's man-made islands.
Modern day slavery. Here we go. It's from 2013, so this is right after they completed the Burj Khalifa kind of thing.
Okay. So in Abu Dhabi, they call it Happiness. Call it Happiness Island, but for migrant workers, it is a place of misery. Off the coast of Abu Dhabi, a stretch of sand is being turned into a cultural hub of global renown, featuring a new Louvre, Guggenheim. Oh my God.
Guggenheim.
Thank you. Guggenheim and New York University. But the migrant workers creating it are being paid a pittance and living in squalor. So, I'll read. Let me see the video.
So yeah, that's Abu Dhabi. And then there's
Abu Dhabi, capital of the United Arab Emirates, and one of the richest cities in the world.
Here's a little what's it called? You know that show that does the like really cute infographics?
Oh, Kirkazad?
Yeah, same thing. Similar vibe.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
The journey so far has been hell, but worse is on the way. You worked your fingers to the bone to buy the ticket and cover the migration fees. You've kissed your family and friends goodbye and traveled over 3,000 miles from your home to the glistening jewel of the United Arab Emirates, Dubai, a city with a population of over 3.3 million people, but where nearly 80% are foreigners like you. You think a better life is waiting for you there. A good job with steady wages, housing provided, and bosses that care for and respect you. A way to finally escape your debts. But you're wrong. Horribly, horribly wrong. It doesn't seem so bad at first. You arrive at the luxurious Dubai International Airport, where someone representing your employer has a card with your name on it. They carry your bags to the car. They even take your passport from you for safekeeping. It's not like you'd ever want to leave, right? Dubai is the Las Vegas of the Middle East, after all, the place that dreams are made of. With a GDP of over $100 billion, it's a shining opulent city, home to impossible skyscrapers, vast displays of wealth, and it serves as a beacon of prosperity in the UAE. Maybe you're a part of the club now. But there's a dark secret under all this glitz and glamour. It's built on blood, sweat, and tears of people just like you. And now, it's already too late to escape. Flash forward a month and the work you were doing back home feels like a treasured childhood memory. You're pouring cement at the base of another mega skyscraper project. The intense 110-degree heat is blistering your skin. The other poor souls around you work like robots, as cruel foremen in aviator glasses stare down at you with disgust. You're on the 9th hour of work for the day, so you've still got a few more before you collapse and get shoved with all the others into a filthy crowded bus and carted back to the hovels you call home. You'll sleep, maybe if your body can get used to the heat, but you won't feel rested by the time the foremen come back, ready to drag your sorry ass back to the construction site for another 12-hour shift. One of 7 you go through every single week. Sometimes your fellow construction workers collapse from exhaustion. Some of them never get back up, worked to death like pack mules. It doesn't even faze you. After all, around 10 migrant workers die in the UAE every single week. They start to become the ones you envy the most. Once you had hopes and dreams of a better life. Now you're just another Dubai slave. This might seem like a worst-case scenario, but it is just the tip of the iceberg, as you'll see with some of even the more gut-wrenching details we'll be exposing. Dubai has a track record of luring migrant workers from around the world, but especially from countries throughout the Indian subcontinent, as well as from Asia and other parts of the Arab world. They're promised good jobs, fair wages, and a chance at a better life. But what they find couldn't be further from that. Take Farhan, a man in his early 30s who had been living in his home country of Pakistan before migrating to Dubai. Only 20% of the population in the city is native, with foreign workers from India and Pakistan totaling nearly 40%. But the ruling class lord over the foreign majority with an iron fist. Like many others, Farhan was lured to Dubai by the promise of high and steady wages. Corrupt work agencies that have direct ties to the United Arab Emirates will disseminate lies about lucrative paychecks and stability to bait people seeking to escape abject poverty in their home country.
This is a really common tactic for labor. This happens in the U.S.
I don't.
I know he served his time, but Beau the Fifth Column got clapped for this.
Oh yeah, I remember. That's why like his wife now runs his YouTube channel.
He did his time, but yeah, he did get clapped for doing something similar. He took passports and shipped people. This is human trafficking. This is the most common form of human trafficking. This is moving people, taking their passports away, and then they work with basically no promise of pay beyond you get to stay alive as long as we need you.
Yeah.
And this is way more common in places like the Middle East, Dubai and Qatar, Saudi Arabia, because like that's what's happening at the line too, and the Macabre and whatnot. They hire a bunch of foreign workers, take their passports away, and promise they hire them on the promise you're going to change your life, and the change in your life is for the worst kind of thing.
Yeah, like fuck, I had a thought. Oh no, I lost my thought.
No, you're good. Chinese railroad workers in the U.S. was a similar experience.
Okay, now I remember. Like the normal, like I assume like the human trafficking that's normally like portrayed in most media is like sex trafficking, not labor trafficking.
It's spooky and scary and upsetting, whereas labor trafficking is like someone's gotta work. Do the work.
Is people will be less sympathetic to you if you get trafficked for having you got a job. Oh my god, you got a job.
You got a job out of it. I wish I had a job. Yeah, it's awful. But it's the more common form. It just doesn't hit the headlines the same. And so like this Abu Dhabi thing, same thing. People were moved into the country under false pretenses, had their passports taken, and now they have to work under the threat of violence.
Yeah. Let me see. I think like that infographic is good to like move on for it because it very much portrays like what is going on there.
Yeah.
Let's see. I want to see what.
Small coastal island of Saadiyat, a multi-billion-dollar cultural transformation is taking place. A Guggenheim museum designed by Frank Gehry, the first ever Louvre museum to be built outside Paris, and the first New York University campus outside the US. The entire project is surrounded by 5-star hotels and luxury villas.
Can you see the
But for many
large through line throughout all of this? It's luxury, future, and built off the labor of poor people
and foreign investors as well.
I think I think the big thing, like, we should just end on, because I am running out of time.
No, you're okay.
Is that like this whole these whole mega project ideas? They're speculative investments for people outside of the country to throw money at something that may make them more money when they decide to pull out, and let the project collapse. The idea is like that these are projects that they sell to other people to be sold. This happened with YouTube. YouTube was the same thing. People throw money at a channel, and then when it sold, it would collapse. Same with these other projects. Dubai is not going to be a thing 100 years from now because it can't sustain itself. It's unsustainable living because it is built off the idea that you will always have rich people coming into the city and dumping cash. And that's already falling apart. The Trump tariffs have destroyed global trade. And so like every one of these speculative investments is probably up in the air now after like what 5 months.
Yeah, it's more like no one wants. It's like a hot potato. No one wants to be like end up with like the hot potato at the end of
debt.
this.
Yeah,
like,
no one
debt.
wants the debt at the end of the day. So like, the prince is banking on the idea that he will be able to hoist this debt upon either his children or his people. And so like at the end of all of this, these structures will be left abandoned. And they might even not have the budget to tear them down. They'll just collapse.
Like, I want to do like a stream to like later to like look at like how like China like kind of compares this, because China also had like rapid like industrial development for their country, and I will see like
we are starting to see the cracks in that. So like a lot of their mega cities, they just did an investigation I think last year where they looked into the fraud involved in those mega city projects. People were cutting corners with the concrete, and some of those buildings are collapsing. And like there's issues with like humane living conditions and whatnot. Overall, growth for the sake of growth is not great. Saudis did Dubai to avoid being the country that is tied to oil in a climate where oil wars were happening.
Oh my god! I didn't know there were oil.
Yeah. So I'm talking Desert Storm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, oil wars.
Yes. Okay.
Where like there were wars predicated on the need to remove people to allow better access to oil.
Yeah, and then there's also, we were chatting before stream about the fact that Dubai itself is eroding because it's a man-made island.
Yeah, there are man-made structures that are just disappearing and vanishing into the ocean and damaging the ecology because they took a bunch of foreign soils and threw them into the foreign sands and threw them into the ocean to build a little island. And so, yeah, I guess in conclusion, my opinion, the biggest issue with Dubai is that it was not planned; it was built.
Yeah, that it does feel very much like a lot of these mega structures. It's just the I want to make it, but like they're not thinking, should I make it? Should I
exactly?
Really make this?
No one ever stopped to ask if we should.
Yeah. I think
always the how, never the should.
Yeah, I think it's a good place to stop. I want to thank Killjoy for stopping by and helping with the research for this. And
no problem. And I look forward to tiny homes.
Yes. Oh, we do poke Faugi about that.
Yeah, we'll poke Faugi and we'll do the tiny homes sometime soon, hopefully. And yeah, it's been fun, everybody. make sure to like the stream and support Ash. They do good work, and this was a blast. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do a couple like smaller videos cut up out of this since we had like so many good segments.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, goodbye, everybody.
All right.